Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to Arsenal versus Newcastle. I have with me here Gary and Ebony. Gary, how you getting on, bro?
Yeah, I'm doing good, mate. Doing good. Bit disappointed that Trossard's been left out again. I think he brings us so much, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Ebony, how you getting on? Good for you to join us.
Yeah, ages. I'm all right. I'm feeling a bit anxious today. I'm hoping that because now Man City have played the same games as us, I'm hoping that we can put a little bit of pressure on them today. But otherwise, I'm just anxious, and I agree with Gary. It's like, why the hell is Trossard on the bench?
Yeah,
Strange decision.
it is. I was concerned about that. I did message you lot in the chat before the game. It was one of my concerns, and maybe going towards the end of the season, that's something that we can say. He was really for 2/3 of the season. The team sheets were great. The substitutions were bang on, and I think that he started to wobble. Lo and behold, he didn't have much choices previously because we had injuries to key players. A lot of people might not remember, but Reece Nelson also has been carrying 2 hamstring injuries. He had a double hamstring injuries this season. Smith Rowe's not been available. Jesus was out for quite a long time. So, in hindsight, you guys understand the saying, less is more. So, because he's had less choices, he's had more of a staple decision to make in terms of what his starting 11 is. Now he seems to have the choices. He's just not using them. The confusing thing about that is he had a fantastic January transfer window, but he's really underplayed the 2 guys. And though they featured last week and both played well, Trossard and Jorginho. Jorginho was epic last week. They just haven't featured enough. So let me go and get the team sheet. Let's say hello to Tony. We didn't see him on Friday night because he had business to school business that we had to deal with. Tony, how are you getting on, bro? I'm just getting the team sheet up now.
Yeah, all good, brother. All good.
Right, let's get the team sheet. Let's try and get this now. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry. I've been as absolute sick as a dog. I've been in bed for 4 days. So it's just not been good for me, man. I struggled through the Friday night Premier League show. I have no idea how I did that. As soon as I finished with Drew and Andy, man, I slept for 11 hours. I didn't get up until 11 hours after that podcast, man. I was so mashed up. So here we are. We've got the team sheet. Let's have a look at that, and then we can go through what our thoughts are. Where are we? Yeah, here we go. Here's the team sheet. So it's White, Ramsdale in goal, White, Kiwior, Gabriel. So Gabriel's made it fit now, so that's fine. Jorginho keeps his place over Thomas Partey. Interesting. And then we've got
He's got a slight knock. He's got a slight knock.
Yeah, we've got Xhaka, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli is back in the team, and Jesus has kept his place, but Trossard is dropped. Not sure if I agree with that decision. I probably would have gone with Martinelli on the right, maybe Trossard on the left, Jesus. I may even have, I wouldn't drop Jesus because he was decent in the last game. I probably would have dropped Saka, if I'm honest. I would have given Saka a rest and then put him on after 60, 70 minutes. And that's probably how I would have worked this. Gary, what's your thoughts? What would you have done today?
To be honest, Polo, that's not a bad chat. Saka's had a few quiet games, isn't he? The last 2 or 3 games, he's been really quiet. So it might not have been a bad idea to implement what you just said. I mean, I personally think Trossard's got to play, whether it's at the expense of Jesus or Martinelli. I think Trossard needs to start. Happy that Gabriel's made it and that Kiwior's kept his place. So, I mean, to be honest, we just touched on the not having the players available, and when he's had them available, he hasn't used them. But I don't think he would have used them anyway. I really don't. I think he's set on his 11, and this is the 11 he wants to play every game.
So I've just kicked off.
And unfortunately, when you're in the league title race and Champions League, those are things you cannot do. You have to learn the rotational side of the business, which I don't think he's got quite down yet. Ebony, what's your thoughts on the team sheet?
I would have. I do agree about Saka. However, Trossard needs to start. Okay, and if it means at the expense of Jesus, then so be it. Or in actual fact, what I would have done was I would have actually started Trossard instead of Xhaka. That's what I would have done. As far as Tierney is concerned, I would have played him on the left. I don't know if he's still injured or he's still niggling at with some injury, but yeah, I would have. The only change I would have made was changing Xhaka for Trossard. Otherwise, I'd have kept the sheet.
Chance. Oh my God! Off the bar.
Yeah, Tony, first of all, what's your thoughts with the team sheet? And then talk us through that play of action, Tony.
Literally just got a ricochet. Newcastle got a ricochet off the bar. Yeah, I agree with you all about Trossard. I'd play him at the expense of any of the front three, to be honest. I just think he's livened up our front three. Yeah, Jorginho is just... he lost the ball in midfield from the resulting counter-attack. Newcastle pressed with high numbers. Ball came across. I'm not sure who it was that had the shot, but it hit the post and ricocheted back. We got lucky to clear it. And that's worrying because it's literally minute one.
Again.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, Ebony.
Somebody else has now lost the ball, and Ben White has saved a second effort on goal.
I'm watching via Sky.
Who's that's just lost the ball? Was that Xhaka? Yeah, it looks like Xhaka lost the ball in midfield, and again, Newcastle pressing high, got lots of numbers.
Zinchenko, man.
Was it Zinchenko?
No, Zinchenko Xhaka loses the ball, but Zinchenko's got to cut that out at source. Zinchenko's turn to run, and the ball's hit him on the back of the head. You just got to stand there. You run backwards, and that's where you head it out.
So.
A nice little block of defensive.
So the first shot was by
Jakub Murphy. I think it come off Kiwior's leg and hit the post.
Yeah. And the second effort was by Isak.
That was a good block by Ben White, yeah.
Yeah.
Stan Kroenke is saying that Zinchenko cannot defend himself.
He's right. His defending is pretty poor. We have said that week in,
to
week
be honest,
out.
even when Murphy cuts inside, Zinchenko's nowhere near him. Nowhere close enough. He's got acres of room to get that shot away.
Yeah. And it baffles me that Arteta can't see that.
He's better going forward.
I mean, you understand he likes him for what he brings to the midfield, like the invertedness. But me personally, in certain games, you need to change your style of play, and Zinchenko just doesn't offer that.
You've got a very dangerous right winger in Murphy. You need somebody who can defend strongly. He's also quite pacey, Murphy. So again, you need a pacey defender. This is the situation where you go, read the opposition. You ain't at home. You're away, use this opportunity to bring in the player who can do a job for you. And that's Tierney. But
even against Man City, again, it was the same.
Same. He could, and the same against Liverpool. He could have done better.
There was a stat that I heard this morning on Match of the Day. Is it Ilkay Gundogan has only started 6 Premier League games all season for Man City or something like that? That's proper squad rotation. Even one of their best midfielders can't get in their team.
Yeah. It's good play, Arsenal. Oh, foul on Saka as he goes down the right.
Mm-hmm. Free kick.
Newcastle are very fast off the bat here. Let's have a
Right,
little
guys.
time check, guys. I'm on 5:43.
Where are we? Bertrand says Zinchenko can not defend himself. This is the reason why they thought he was going to start this game, but then that goes back into the conversation that we had at the beginning of the stream sheet in regards to the lack of rotation in the last third of the season, which we just haven't seen. Bertrand says our midfield is slow and plodding. Needed Partey today to cover the ground. It's not so much as the midfield. It's not so much as the midfield, Bertrand. Their biggest threat is coming from Trippier. And if Trippier's been told to get behind Zinchenko, that's the game plan. And if that's the game plan, then we're going to be hurt. So I think Jorginho would be okay in the middle.
Gabriel Jesus.
The biggest problem would be coming from Trippier. And unfortunately, Zinchenko, that's really down to him.
So here we go again. Gabriel Jesus concedes the corner because he's trying to do too much. You know, he comes back so deep that he's playing on top of the defense, and then he loses the ball for a corner. And we get away with that. We get away again.
No, we don't get away with it, mate. Penalty Newcastle, I'm being told.
It's gone to VAR for a handball.
But Gabriel Jesus, what did Bertrand and I say only 2 weeks ago?
Oh, come on, that was so hand to frigging ball. Hi, Vincey.
His hands in an awkward place, though. Oh, what have you done?
Definite penalty.
Yeah.
Definite penalty. And it's just reactionary to what's going on.
So we don't send him off. Goal struck bad. Let's have a look.
Well, we saw this last week with Arsenal.
Oh, you see his knee?
Great corner there.
I see his knee.
Yeah, it's hit his knee. I don't think that's a penalty.
I see his knee. He pulled his hand back behind his knee.
Hold on, let's have a look at this.
That's his knee.
Now I've gone to check the VAR.
Yeah, it's his knee. It's his knee, guys. I don't think that's a penalty.
It hits his thigh, and then if anything, it hits his thigh, but his arm's by his side.
I'm the renegade without the Arsenal top on.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's his thigh. There's no way it can bounce up like that if it's hit his arm.
Yeah, it's not a penalty.
If it hit his arm,
Referee's going to the box, so we'll see in a sec.
He's still there. He's still there.
Have you guys actually seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up and see. Let's see if we can blow it up. You can see here. This is where the ball is, but it's actually hit his leg. His arm is actually tucked behind the thigh.
What's the decision?
No penalty.
Yeah,
no, he's gone to the monitor. That can't be. That's it. His arm. That's it. His thigh. Sorry. Because look at the ball. The thigh's a meaty part, innit? Look at the ball lobbed up in the air.
Yeah, definitely hit the thigh. And you see the muscle in his thigh move.
Yeah, that's it. And he done well to get his hand out of the way, his arm out of the way. Because he realises what's going on and he just gets that thigh up and tucks his arm behind. He's done really well there.
He's giving it. It's not a penalty. Yeah, no penalty.
Yeah.
Well done, Kiwior.
I'm telling you, he's done really well there because it was aiming for his arm and he realises. And he just gets his knee up, just a little half an inch.
But, I just want to go back the couple of minutes before the penalty in the corner. You know, again, Gabriel Jesus giving the corner away in like a silly place, really. And ultimately, you know, his job is to score goals, and he's trying to dilly-dally and do stuff in the back where, you know, just get the ball. Sometimes you got to just get the ball out. And this is one of them games where you're going to need somebody who's up front to win the ball and hold it.
So guys, that's officially no penalty after a lot of thought, even though walking away from the monitor, he's overturned the decision. The Newcastle players don't seem to be happy, but it is the right call from the guys at Stockley Park. So well done to them.
Come on, Martinelli. Oh.
See, this is what you're seeing. Yeah, what I talk to you about coaching and getting control of the ball against teams that press you. This is a perfect example, because the ball's hot under our feet, but it's not hot underneath Newcastle's.
Yeah, and the ball spent 45% of the time in the Arsenal half.
Yeah, it's because Newcastle are pressing relentlessly. Wake up, guys! Wake up, man!
And that clearly shows that we have a deficiency in controlling the ball under pressure. And that's something that's something that they're going to have to.
Vincey, I actually think that Arsenal are the best team in the league, and we're playing with the ball in possession under pressure. I think that's been their biggest.
I don't know what you've been watching.
I think that's our biggest strength this season. And I think with the ball at our feet in possession in the midfield, especially with Thomas Partey in there, I think we're one of the best teams at it.
Not under pressure, because if you're going to say that under pressure, that game against Man City, when we absolutely were under pressure, we did not use the ball.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
That's not an isolated situation. Because you can see,
I'm going to let that one slide because you said Man City. So
no, but this is the problem, Apollo. You focus on a team and used to say you're going to let it slide. They're just a team.
Yeah, Man City are the best team.
They're one of 38. Okay, and if you want to progress and move forward, you got to stop bowing down to these teams. They're one of 38.
Oh, Wes.
Yeah, unfortunately, Vincey, we're not as good as Man City, and that was played out.
That's the mentality. That's the mentality that keeps Arsenal.
Get in!
Odegaard.
You know, Martin Odegaard.
You're talking about a game.
15 Premier League goals for the season. Sorry, Vincey.
I don't know how many yards that is.
To me that we're the best team under pressure, and I'm giving you an example where clearly we were not the best team under pressure.
Get in there.
Well, I do think though, Vincey, at one point Apollo has a point because we was, and then we suddenly wasn't.
That's what your thoughts are on it, Vincey.
Yeah, we scored. That's all right. We're talking about conversation.
Because I'm on the app, guys. I haven't seen it at the moment. It's a free kick. I'm just watching the free kick now.
You're way
brilliant goal by Odegaard. I don't know how many yards that was.
30 minutes at the moment.
That's how you quiet down the crowd. Lovely.
Great strike.
Odegaard 30 yards. 15 Premier League goals. Now ties Kevin De Bruyne with 3 games to go.
That was very Kevin De Bruyne, guys. That was very Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, that's got to knock Newcastle back a bit, hasn't it? Because they were literally on top of Arsenal.
We needed that. We needed something to quiet the crowd. We needed something to get this game. The momentum of the game can hopefully change a bit now. You know, I don't expect Newcastle to stop playing the way they're playing, but at least now Arsenal know, look, let's keep this ball in their half of the pitch.
Lovely nutmeg on the defender there. Bomb straight through his legs. Cracking strike.
Yeah. From my favourite player in the team as well. He's just constantly delivering. What a captain.
Big up to the...
I told you. Hey, Gary, hate to say I told you so, but... I love Odegaard.
I say
big up to Cam.
Odegaard is
big
just
up
a
to
real
18.
deal, man.
Like I say, he's now tied De Bruyne for 15 non-penalty goals in the season from a midfielder.
Yeah, I don't. I think what's important is he's just tied the Arsenal record for goals by a midfielder, and which was tied by Cesc Fabregas with 15 goals.
Yeah.
So he's just tied that record.
Yeah. Great, fantastic.
Actually,
let's get another.
Yeah, but there was a couple of penalties in the Fabregas one, though, weren't there?
Yeah.
I agree with that. He's not a penalty taker. I better put that up here, actually. Odegaard. I better put that up on Twitter. I don't think a lot of Arsenal fans are probably going to be aware of that.
But this is a very high, intense game, guys.
Oh,
we're all right, everybody, because you're not there today.
You should have seen you should have seen my face and Apollo's face on that Friday.
Yeah, Apollo was telling me.
Yeah.
See, how many times we wanted to walk out?
Zinchenko again, man.
This passage of play that
well done, Martinelli. Excellent, Martinelli. Excellent, Martinelli.
And
yeah, that's good. Great tackle there.
You know,
Zinchenko again gets caught out.
Zinchenko needs to come off, man.
I'm sorry, man. He's been caught out 4 times in 16 minutes. He's the weakest link.
Right, let me see. Yeah, Vincey, go on. Sorry,
I don't need to comment on that because
I'm starting my app again. I've just realised this Sky Go app on Xbox is new. It's exactly the same app that we use on our phones, and it is such a dog to use. It's so bad. Yeah, it's lagging behind. Nothing I can do about that anyway. Nothing I can do about that. Focus on what you can control and not what you can't.
100%.
Oh dear. For a player who's supposed to be that, ability to pass, to find the pass, his passing sometimes is very erratic.
Who are we talking about?
Zinchenko. I think there was. If anyone can give me back me up on this one, I think he started the season with a very high pass accuracy rate, and I think in recent weeks that's gone down because a lot of his passes are getting intercepted. He's losing the ball in vital places.
I don't think it's recent weeks. I just think he's just got the. When he's put under pressure, and in this Arsenal team, we don't kill the play. We continue to do the default, which is what I was saying earlier on. We use this fast one-touch passing, expecting the person to be in that position, and we can't do that against certain teams. And we got exposed earlier in this game, and we got exposed earlier on in other games. And again, it's expecting play. It's what happens in training when you're used to people in training. You've got that one touch.
As a foul, ref.
Automatic.
Yeah, Jorginho.
And Zinchenko is that type of player who's very one touch, knows where his players are, and if that player moves, he gets in trouble because he doesn't look up. He doesn't always be aware. Hence why that adds to his defensive frailties, which you've seen in many games. You saw it in the Liverpool game, a sequence of games where he's not always aware of his defender.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that Joe Linton, man, he's gone for a couple of Arsenal players already. He's done Gabriel, Jesus, he's done Martinelli, and now he's just done exactly the same thing to Jorginho.
He's going to get sent off, if he continues.
Sorry, guys, in the chat, I'm not ignoring you.
As well.
It's just Jorginho getting up well there. Victor says we need a double pivot. Yeah, that's coming next season, bro. Cam says Odegaard actually dragging the team to victory in a tough away game. I think it's not the first time, and it definitely won't be the last. I think that goal has silenced some critics.
What a ball
about the
from
2
Odegaard.
Last week. Bertrand
pass from
Martinelli
Odegaard
was in Zinchenko and just passed the ball to Trippier.
Now you see what I'm saying, Tony. you see, Odegaard knew exactly where that player was when he did that movement, and it was just a simple touch.
Oh, he's in. Oh, good save.
No.
To be honest,
No.
he put it straight at him.
Good save by the goalie, though.
Poor shot.
Tony,
Pass.
what's going on there?
Oh, and another. It's a corner.
Yeah,
Arsenal,
saved by the keeper.
2 shots.
Okay, I'm on 20 minutes.
Yeah, you're same as me.
Seconds and a half. The first shot was Martinelli, blocked by Pope. Came out to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard then skipped inside, unleashed one towards the bottom left-hand corner, and Pope stretched out and turned it around the post.
Martinelli, that's a poor effort for Martinelli, though. Poor effort.
To be honest, he was
Wait,
stretching.
what a ball from Odegaard.
Yeah.
What a ball from
The corner
Odegaard.
comes in.
Hey, guys out there, hit that like button, man. We need more
I think a few
likes.
seconds
Stand
ahead
on,
of me, Tony.
people. Wake up.
Saka. Oh, blocked.
Yeah.
I like it,
By
Saka.
Newcastle, it's an Arsenal throw. At last, a little bit of pressure on the Newcastle box by Arsenal.
So, guys, if you missed the Premier League show on Friday, we were talking about how good Newcastle's defense has been. And I've got a crazy stat for you. In the 32 games, they've let 33 games. They've let 31 goals in. Actually, they've let 27 goals in. 6 of those goals have been by Man City. So if you think about in the 31 games they've played, they've only allowed 21 goals in from all the other teams in the league outside of Man City.
Go on.
Man City, as I said to Vinci previously before, is just on a different level and have scored 6 goals in 2 games against these guys. But the rest of the league are totaling 21 goals in 31 games against Newcastle. That's how tough it is against this lot. And especially, this is at St. James Park. So this is a fantastic result so far for Arsenal.
Go on, Saka. Run him.
To come here and score.
Good tackle, Isak.
And this also goes parallels. There are parallels to this, guys. Me and Gary talked about when Newcastle came to the Emirates.
Attack him.
And Newcastle came to the Emirates in 3rd place and basically parked the bus.
It was embarrassing, man.
That was their mentality. That we're going to come to the leaders, Arsenal, and park the bus.
Saka.
And Apollo, correct me if I'm wrong, in that game at the Emirates, did Joe Linton not deserve at least a yellow card in that game?
3 yellow cards. 3 yellow cards.
Applying the pressure, people. Saka could have got one there.
I mean, that goal has taken the sting out of Newcastle because Arsenal are all over them at the moment now. It's definitely taken. Look, Saka's got 3 players around him on that right hand side.
He should have scored.
He's
hit it straight down the chest to Nick Pope. It's literally a 1-on-1. I mean, I know he's got a player beside him, but you've got to find a corner of the net there.
I just got a text from Jamie on Twitter. It says you guys should be 2-0 up.
He should be.
And the rest, 2 or 3.
Saka should have scored just now.
Yeah.
You have to find a corner, not straight down the chest of the player. I think the ball was from Xhaka. Yeah, it's a great ball by Xhaka.
But he's got to go. He's got to go low. It's high. It's just Pope didn't even react. It just hit him in the chest.
Yeah,
he's got to go low.
Yeah, he's got to do better there.
So that's 2 1-on-1 we've had.
2 big chances in the last 5 minutes. I mean, they're all over them. That goal has given them so much confidence.
So somebody's down, hence the Arsenal are gathered now.
Fabian Schär, innit?
Okay.
Newcastle defender.
Guys, let's remember when Man City came here, ended up 3-3. That was very early in the season. They did play in March a couple of months ago at the Etihad, and Man City beat them 2-0. But here at St. James Park, it ended up 3-3.
I can see Mikel Arteta has been extremely
animated.
Agitated.
I think is
animated. That's the word. Yeah, he's obviously seeing things and needs to make some adjustments because he needs to ensure, that their defensive shape is correct. A couple of good attacks, but defensively sometimes the shape is a little bit off.
I think it's funny how every team does this now. when there's an injury. They want to have that little huddle.
Yeah.
You need
But
it.
it's good. I
You know
mean,
what
I think
happens,
COVID.
you don't
the
know what a
COVID
team's going to do until the game starts, and about 10 minutes in, you get to read what their patterns of play are, and you can make an adjustment. So now he knows I've got to make an adjustment, because don't forget, Newcastle for the first time are playing both Callum Wilson and Alexander Isak. So they've had a change of style, which Arsenal would never have seen on film.
Is that Premier League?
But this style of management has been bred from COVID, where they had this water breaking stuff where they,
Yeah.
you know, he was able to get the team together mid game and talk about areas that they're clearly not doing, and it helped us during
It
that
definitely helped us. I remember that so well, because you could literally listen to what he was saying. Oh my God, Isak just rolled past defender there. Well in, Gabriel.
That's what happens when you jump in. Those things happen, you know.
Yes, well done,
Those things
Gabriel. Arsenal throwing, surely.
And that's all you have to do. Just stand up and shadow him.
Oh, they nearly scored, but it was a good
Stand up
save
and
by my fiance.
It's another record being broken here, guys.
Which one's that?
I'm just putting up on the screen now.
Taxi for Ben White.
Yeah. Great save, Ramsdale.
Great save.
Here we go, guys. Have a look at that one.
Great save.
First season, which
He's had a
Arsenal
good
have had
season
two
for Newcastle
players
this year, winner.
scoring plus.
Oh, look at that skill. Ridiculous.
Look how quiet you guys are with that one. That's a strange one, isn't it?
I can't even see it.
That's a very strange one. Considering considering the greatest teams that we've had in history, and you've got two players. Hey Tony, what's the ages of these guys? And Martinelli's 21, and Odegaard's 24. So you've got two players scoring 15 Premier League goals. I'm going to send this nice one to Andy. I'm going to send this to Andy.
Very good save.
No thoughts on that, Gary?
Yeah, no, great stat. Like you said, it's a surprise that in all these seasons that we haven't had that happen before.
Yeah. 15 goals, that's got to be Cesc Fabregas and Van Persie, isn't it?
I'd say so, yes.
Saka.
That's a great save, Ramsdale.
See that correct, pass accuracy.
Oh, yes, Zinchenko. Ridiculous skill from Zinchenko.
Oh, bloody hell.
Oh, good save, Ramsdale. Good save.
Oh, foul there. Joe Linton again smashing through the back of Saka.
How are they letting that guy? Anyway, I've seen enough from the refs to understand what they're. I'm not going to say narrative. I'll say agenda. I'll use the Vinci word. Yeah, it is, mate. It is.
It's crazy. I mean, he got away with literally attempted murder in the Emirates game.
Yeah, I remember that. I thought Ramsdale was a bit late there.
No, I think it was one of them in-between balls where you're like, In the end, he made the right choice.
And guys, listen, I always have to stand back and look at this as in a peripheral vision. This is a game of football that's at a serious standard in the league. You think about the people who are watching this game in Europe and around the world. I mean, the standards now of the games that we're involved in, again, this is, a top team, third in the league. Impeccable record, home record that Newcastle have, and a wealth of talent. When you think about the job that Eddie Howe's had, this is a really good game of football we're seeing.
Why is Saka trying to beat Dan Burn in the air? 6'7" versus 5'8"?
Yeah, this is one of them games where you kind of wish you had a big striker, because the Newcastle centre backs are giants.
Yeah, I agree with Victor. Victor said that this is the hardest game remaining. You know, funny enough, Victor, when I was looking at the schedules, have you seen Manchester City's last two games?
Right,
Easy, are
and
they?
Brentford.
And they're in Champions League. Yeah, they're not easy games. I'm telling you, they're not easy games. They're not easy
Who they
games.
got?
It's not over,
Who they
Vincey.
got?
It's not over, mate. They got Brighton away,
well,
and they got
yeah,
they
but we
got
have-
Brentford away.
yeah, but we
Man
have to win
City.
today. We have to win. We have to
We
win.
have to win
this.
all our games. You can't afford to lose any. We want to win them all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been saying that
gotta
from
win all your
season day
games.
one.
You got to win all your games, and then hope that Brighton can beat them, and that Brentford can beat them. And both of those games are away from home. There's going to be huge amount of pressure on Man City.
We
Vincey
got,
is
we,
still
got
at
hard
school.
enough, we got hard enough games for ourselves.
Great feat by Willock there. I always like Joe
That's
Willock.
my focus.
Yeah,
It's
he's
always
a
been
good
my
player.
focus. You handle your business, and the rest will follow. So I'm not worried about City's games. I'm more worried about what we do in our games.
Yeah, because obviously we have Brighton at home, and then we have
Great ball.
Nottingham Forest away. I'm not going to be around for that game. My auntie is having a 90th party, so I'm not going to be around for that game. And then there's the last one against Wolverhampton.
Come on, what the hell?
I know it's a waste.
Oh, that challenge on Xhaka. Come on now.
And he's still on the floor, and the referee hasn't blown.
Come on.
The ref is an idiot.
Come on.
But Arsenal are playing on. Arsenal are playing on 3-on-3, 3-on-3, 3-on-3.
Well done.
Make the right decision.
No.
Oh, make the wrong decision.
No.
Great footing by Kiwior there. I'm a little bit behind you guys.
I'm on
He made the wrong
32-45.
decision. He should have gone for goal. Martinelli made a bad decision. He's running.
Oh,
It was
But
3-on-3. He tried to back heel.
But the referee,
Jesus.
right? The referee is just letting things go. That was a nasty tackle there on Saka.
It was, and he just allowed them to play on.
Those situations, Tony, Martinelli's got to take. He's got to be when he's on the bench. He's got to look and see what Trossard does when he's in those
So
situations.
you drive in, you get there, and then you're trying a little stupid backflip. Have a shot, man.
Yeah.
When you've
That's
got the
a
runner, you've got to
terrible
look.
challenge.
You've got to look and see where space is, and know where your player is behind you. And that's the area where he's got to improve next season.
Look, he's done him there. That's it. Hit it there. Why are you trying to do that?
Yeah.
You got two players the other way, but you want to backhand it to the one behind you
Yeah, it makes no sense.
when you're 18 yards
How
out.
many times have we said that, Gal, about Martinelli's decision making in the
Yeah,
final?
it's terrible.
Every week.
You know, you got to love him on what 16 goals or 15 goals, and you kind of go if he could make slightly better decisions.
I let Cher off there for that tackle on Xhaka because he actually slipped, and it wasn't as bad. It wasn't as bad as it looked.
But the thing was, in that tackle, he took out Jesus and he took out Xhaka in the same move.
And not even a yellow card.
Yeah, that's all right though because he doesn't play for Arsenal. Xhaka done that red card.
Yeah.
Tony, we're talking about.
Terry says, shout out to you, Terry. Terry says Trossard on and Martinelli off, and he said, "Evening, gents." G says Gary is such a cool dude, man, and he says, "Is Xhaka on the pitch just asking for a friend?" You see how they just want to break our legs. That's basically Newcastle's tactical plan. Done.
Wasn't much different at the Emirates though. To be fair, that was their plan to wrap us up.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotta do better there. Jesus.
Victor says, no, nice move, Martinelli. He was crowded. Martinelli has been failing in the final third as a passer. But then, look at the goals that he scores. So there is that argument. That is the argument. But doesn't that mean then he's more of a central striker than he is a wingman? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a good point.
Do you know what he is to me? He's like Freddie Ljungberg. Freddie's good for like 15 goals, but don't let him try to think about what he has to do.
Vincey,
Get
you going
up.
back? Vincey, 2 years.
Listen, the guys.
Vincey, remember what I told you 2 years ago with
About
Haaland and Martinelli?
What was that?
When they both came out when they were 19 and they both scored 10 goals in that season, and I said these are going to be the most two dominant strikers in Europe in the future. Haaland went on to score 37 goals in the next season, and Martinelli was injured for what? 2 years.
Listen, Martinelli's got his strengths and he's got his weaknesses, and it's clear to see all the season. But he's a phenomenal talent. From the moment I glimpsed on him, he's not a striker. He's a winger that can play in attack. He just needs to be coached in those areas where looking up and seeing the run and being able to know when to shoot, when to pass, and when to do that trickery. Once he sorts that out, his pace is ridiculous. And you stop and you think, this guy's really this is his second really full season of Premiership football, and this is what he's doing at this age. It's frightening.
And the thing that I think what he lacks is a supplier down his side.
That's a clear foul on Ramsdale as well when he comes to catch that ball. Clear foul.
Also, I believe if Thierry Henry had time with him, he will coach some of the things that we saying is a frustration out of his game.
Look what he did to
Walker.
Look what Henry did to
he was like that. He was like that when he was at Monaco. Many people didn't know what he was like that there, but he was a very tricky, skillful, try it. And he had to learn, actually, do you know what? When you're in those open positions, it's not all about the tricking and skills, put the ball in the back of the net. He watched Ian Wright, he learned how to put the ball in the back of the net. And then he added everything else to his game. And that's just what Martinelli, he just needs that coaching.
So I do want to say, with Kiwior playing on his opposite side and playing in part in some Newcastle attacks, Joe Willock is attacking that half of the space. He probably wouldn't be able to do that if William Saliba.
What a miskick by Pope, man! She nearly fell straight to Saka.
Yeah,
Pope is a dodgy keeper, man. Pope is a dodgy keeper.
What are you doing there?
If I could get a ticket, I was going to the game.
Jorginho needs to come off.
Bundled over Jorginho. He's a beast, isn't he, that Joe Linton?
Yeah, he's very top heavy, isn't he?
Yeah. Joe Linton, Jorginho needs to be careful. He doesn't have the time that he thinks he has. And
just hit Saka on the hill.
Yeah, but hey, Gary, it's like what I say to Tony and Bertram, yeah? Goalkeepers make mistakes every week. It's whether they get punished for them that counts.
But 9 times out of 10, normally they do. If they make a mistake, it's normally results in a goal, doesn't it?
Not really. Not in the case of Aaron Ramsdale.
No,
he's played 65 games before he got punished.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, he's got away with a few, but he unfortunately he made one and he got punished, and that's all people remember. Short memories. The saves that he's made to keep the team games, you wouldn't believe.
Because Pope's made 4 mistakes leading to goals in his last 70 games.
Oh, great tackle, Granit Xhaka. Great tackle.
Is it Ederson? Ederson, who's regarded as the best goalkeeper in the league, has made 5 mistakes leading to goals in his last 70 games. So it just goes to show you, people might talk about Ramsdale making mistakes. They have got a clue what they're talking about because it doesn't cost the team.
Get it out.
There are world-class goalkeepers. David De Gea has made 7 mistakes leading to goals in his last 70 games.
That's got to be a yellow card, surely.
No, it's not.
That's a tackle from behind.
I don't know why
there was
Arsenal,
no effort for the ball at all.
Yeah, Arsenal just get looked down by referees and officials so badly. It's embarrassing.
Chop down Gabriel Jesus and gets nothing. How many times?
Oh, that's a dirty foul from behind from Dan Burn. That is a yellow card all day long.
That's what we're saying.
You ain't
That
getting
is
one.
that's disgusting. There's no attempt to play the ball there.
None
What
whatsoever.
are these referees looking at?
Mate, they just want to do us in.
Go on, go on,
That's
go
all
on.
it is.
You're in. Feed him.
No.
Shoot. Oh!
Terrible
I
throwing.
know.
Absolutely terrible throwing. Why would you do
Tony,
that?
come on, I'm waiting, man.
So basically, the throw-in, Joe Linton loses possession to Martin Odegaard. Martin Odegaard runs through the big defence, feeds Martinelli, one touch and shot, but it's so far wide, it goes out for a throw-in.
So far wide, it goes out for a throw-in. So far.
I'm watching it now. You know what, guys? Odegaard could have had about 3 assists already today.
But even in that instant now,
We're all over
Jesus
Newcastle,
is
guys.
back on his heels. Jesus
Guys,
is making up.
Newcastle are in 3rd place. They're playing at home, and Arsenal are just all over them. Hey, Bertram, I bet you're enjoying this.
Bertram is
I bet
not.
you're enjoying this, Bertram.
He's not enjoying this. I know Bertram,
Boy.
man. He is not enjoying this at all. He can see the weaknesses.
So can
Yeah,
But you're
of course.
right, Apollo.
Newcastle are a top
We
team,
have
guys.
created.
Let's not
we
show
have
any
created
disrespect.
a lot of.
For Arsenal to come here and if they get the win, if they turn these guys over, that'll be a massive achievement. Man City couldn't win here.
It's a long time to go, but we're nearly at half time, so we've got to get it. We've got to manage this for the next 4 minutes.
I was just going to say exactly the same thing, Tone. Keep it clean for the next until half time.
Yeah, they're going to be 3 minutes of injury time, I reckon, because of the injury. Isak looks dangerous. Every time he gets the ball, I just think, oh my God, is this going to be another one of them mazy runs like what he did against Everton?
I've got a man down. Who is down? Saka.
I'll tell you what will be interesting. It'll be interesting when an Arsenal player commits some of the fouls that a Newcastle player's done and see what the referee does.
Who's that? I think. Who's that? Was that on
Saka.
Bruno Guimaraes?
Saka.
Yeah, but Bruno Guimaraes stepped on his heel.
Yeah.
It was total accident.
Yeah, I think we're probably going to see Thomas Partey come on the field sooner rather than later. Terry says Jorginho has been mustered. Cam says Zinchenko really struggling with Jules on that side. Joe Linton and Murphy.
He's taking Saka out while he's running. What's going on here, man?
The ref's got his back turned. He's not interested.
I don't think it was deliberate. I think it was a running across.
Tony, the ref has got his back turned. He's not even
Joe
interested.
Linton is looking for a yellow card, though. He's looking for a yellow card. Gabriel Jesus is having a word with Joe Linton. He's absolutely losing the plot. Gabriel Magalhaes, the Brazilian connection there, is trying to take care of Joe Linton because he's losing his head.
Yeah.
I don't even know why he's arguing because it wasn't him involved in the foul. Or
G says always the wrong option, Martinelli. They are kicking the crap out of us with no repercussions. Victor says,
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say they're kicking the crap out of us because we've had chances to score. They've had chances to score. We've had chances. You know, we've hit the keeper straight down the chin 3 times.
Twice. Well, yeah, literally. Victor says, when St. Maximum comes on, it's going to be worse. Andrew says, greetings to you, Andrew, man. Yeah, you've missed the hell of this. Is a mad first half here, Andrew. It's been a great game so far, I have to say. Terry says, they was always going to kick us about. We have to be brave and draw fouls. We're doing that, but we're not getting the free kicks, Terry. And we have to be brave. Yeah, we're not getting the free kicks. Bodies have to be put on the line, I'm afraid. It is a fair point, but the ref's just not interested. He's letting a lot go in this game.
Oh, danger. Wilson in that dangerous area. Well defended.
Andrew says, I don't want to hear about Bottle anymore because don't want to hear anymore
How
about
can
Bottle.
they have? How you can just play 1-2 in midfield past three of our players?
He was watching the game. Yeah, I agree with Tony. We just need to get into halftime and then manage it. He seems to be able to do a lot in that situation.
Oh, come on, Martinelli. Get it. So there's 5 minutes of injury time being played. We're in the first minute already.
Right, 1 minute's gone for me. I mean, 46.
Yeah. So far we've managed to just about hold Alexander Isak. I mean, you know, look, he's a dangerous player. Arsenal were interested in buying the player. You know, I think he would have been a different player had he not suffered that injury at the start of the season.
Well, the one thing I've got to say about Kiwior is I've been impressed with his positioning and his composure over the last 2 games. Nothing here is too big for him, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's 22 years old, right? So what it tells us is he's reading the game extremely well. The other side of it is, what do you do when you put yourself in that position? And so far, he's been able to cover himself okay. You're talking about, you know, comparing players to Saliba is just going to be an uphill battle, man, no matter who they are. Andrew says, Victor says Saka is limping. Andrew says, head of all wanna pay the subscription fee for Sky. Oh, I am paying it for Sky. I'm just watching it on the Xbox because I'm not in my front room watching it on my main TV.
No one pays for Sky anymore apart from you, Apollo.
Yeah. And you know why that is, Gary? It's because I'm one of the oldest customers. I've been with them since 91, since they first went on the air.
Yeah, that don't make it right.
Oh, it does. For that, they give me a charge. Instead of £89, I'm paying 32 quid a month.
Living the dream, mate. You're living the dream.
Yeah, I'm paying a third of what they should be charging me. And as long as I've got that, I'm happy. You know why? Because, you know, I'm a big Formula One fan and I get to watch the Formula One in the red button so I can choose which car I want to be in the driver's seat.
Okay, free kick to Newcastle, which
triple save from Aaron Ramsdale.
Wow.
Well, I'm at the point where the free kick was taken and it was headed straight into his hands.
Pick up, then shot, then take again.
Guys, back in a second.
3rd minute of injury time.
It's kind of like Joe Linton likes to make a point when he plays against us.
Another player down. It's Granit Xhaka this time. Looks like he's got some studs on the inside of his leg. Callum Wilson wants to give him jip for going down, but obviously this is stalling tactics. Good stalling tactics by Granit Xhaka. Callum Wilson's upset because he wants him to get up.
Arsenal fan Callum Wilson.
Yeah. Of course, he wants him to get up and to get the game going again.
Right, final minute of extra time.
Well, I'll probably get extended another minute because of the. So the assist for the goal goes to Jorginho because he passed the ball across to Odegaard. Of course, it isn't really an assist, but it goes down as an assist.
Callum Wilson moaning about time wasted. Newcastle were the kings of time wasted in the first game at the Emirates.
Oh my God, how bad was their time wasting?
It was shocking.
I was there with Apollo that game, and I was like, "Oh."
No, I was there with Apollo, man. You wasn't sitting with us.
Oh no, I wasn't.
No, you wasn't. You was there, but you wasn't sitting with us.
I was there in spirit. What game was I?
All right, we're 50 minutes now.
Okay, Odegaard calling the whole team in for a chat because it's obviously what's going on.
Oh man!
No, it's not. What? I don't know what's going on here.
What's JC saying to you now?
Okay. Again, Both teams seem to be in a bit of a confrontation over something. I'm not sure what it is. I thought there was a throw-in, but I think, is it down to who gets the ball after the injury?
Well, they should throw it back to us, isn't it?
Callum Wilson is trying it against Granit Xhaka, and this is what I like about Granit Xhaka. And a lot of players wouldn't be like this, but there's a dog in Granit Xhaka that tells you.
Oh, so Newcastle threw the ball back and then kicked it back out of play, so it's an Arsenal throw. They didn't give it back to Ramsdale. Now the players,
Jesus and Kieran Trippier are getting into it.
Yeah,
it's getting a little bit of needle in this game. There's a little bit of needle. It's going to leave a little aftertaste there.
Calm down, bruv. Calm down.
So Gabriel Jesus wants the free kick off for Trippier, and he tells him about it. And
right, guys, what did I miss? What did I miss?
Damn!
What did I miss?
So when the play resumed, Trippier took the throw, and Newcastle knocked it back out for a throw to Arsenal. They didn't give it back to the keeper, and there's a little bit of words being exchanged between Trippier and Jesus.
There's a lot of afters going on at the moment. There's a lot of afters going on. Saka inside the box. Oh, Odegaard!
Odegaard, yep.
He's just, oh my gosh, should have been 2-0. Should have been 2-0.
Oh,
if he lifts it, it's a goal. He just has to lift it over Pope, who's on the floor.
We should be 4 or 5-0 up here.
What a player, Tony. Tony, what a player. Tony, I know me and you had one whole afternoon where we were talking about Odegaard. Yeah, what a player, bro.
Just needed to lift it there. I know he's on
why has Shaka got to be careful?
I'll tell you what it is, because he's obviously got into this verbal with Callum Wilson. And you know what they'll do? They'll ride him. You know when a player starts losing it mentally on the pitch and you say, go on, keep digging him. Just little digs. I saw Callum Wilson just give him a little shove. And
he gets it up in the air, that's in all day long. He just needs to go the same way the ball. I don't know why he's trying to reverse it. Just play the way the ball's going.
Yeah,
play the way the ball's going.
Yeah, do give credit to Pope. Yeah, so somebody was talking about Pope earlier on, but he's actually made 4 saves with his legs in this half. He's literally done an Aaron Ramsdale and saved Newcastle. If it weren't for Pope,
he's been their best player.
Yeah, if it weren't for Pope, they'd be down 3 or 4-0. That's the facts. That's the facts of the matter.
He's been the best player in the first half. In this first half.
Andrew says, Bertram, bad miss. I don't know. Xhaka is being wound up, says Terry. So it's half time, guys. Let's get everybody's thoughts, man. I mean, it's my thoughts in the first half has been really, really happy with what Jorginho has done in the midfield to try and manage that. He is up against it. He's up against a lot of athletic players, but his smarts are the fact that he can control games. I do think Partey's probably better fit for this type of game, though. I really do, because they're just being physical. And I don't think that Jorginho has the physicality that Partey has. I mean, Partey must be on the sidelines sharpening his tools. He must be sitting there sharpening his tools, licking his lips, seeing the drool coming from his teeth.
Yeah, but you know what I would say?
He just wants to get in a game like this.
Do you know what I would say, Apollo, to caveat that is, this is a game that you can't afford to do them stupid little back heels and try to chip it over people's heads.
I agree.
This is, look, Partey has cost us a couple of goals because of stupidity in the middle of the park in the last few games. Yeah. And this is one of them games where actually I like the idea of Thomas Partey, but it's only the Thomas Partey who doesn't make silly errors.
Yeah,
if he's going to carry on making
it's a
silly
shame.
errors, I'd rather you just stay with
and it's a shame to say the last 3 games should dictate his whole season's performance, because it doesn't. We can all agree with that. But what we can say that it was probably the right thing to do based on current form. We're saying to Arteta, make changes based on players' current form, and he's done that. He's done that in that position. He may not have done it elsewhere. He's definitely not doing it with Saka, because Saka's not at the top of his game at the moment. And Trossard really should be playing. If he wanted to bring Martinelli back, as me and Gary talked about, then he probably should have dropped Saka, but he didn't. But he is doing it with Partey and Jorginho. So credit to him to that. But I do want to talk about Kiwior. I think Kiwior has definitely turned up in this game. The problem, Xhaka and Wilson, Jesus and Trippier, and also what they're doing to nullify Zinchenko. You got to get Kieran Tierney on the pitch, man. You got to get Kieran Tierney on the pitch in the second half. And then for me, obviously, Pope. Pope has been the player. Pope's been the best player on the pitch in the first half for Newcastle. But Arsenal have been outstanding. To go away to Newcastle, be up 1-0, and really should be up 3 or 4. This is a fantastic performance by the Gunners. Tony, what's your thoughts?
I'm just doing some stats, buddy. If you can move on to the next person and come back to me.
All right, Ebony, what's your thoughts on the first half so far?
It's been very intense, very physical from Newcastle. Newcastle should have had about 4 or 5 yellow cards by now. But I think we've held up well. We should be at least 5-0 up. But Pope has been their best player on the pitch. I just think that for the second half, I think that Jorginho needs to come off. He's too slow for me, and I think Partey needs to come on. I just don't think that Jorginho has the speed and the physicality for this game. For me personally, I just think he's slow, and I think he slows the game down for us. So Partey needs to come on. But I think we played pretty well, and I think we defended quite well as well.
Gary, what's your thoughts on the first half, mate? Then we'll come to you guys in the chat. Is Gary on mute? We can't hear you, Gary.
Yeah, impressed with the first half. I think we've acquitted ourselves really well. I don't think that we should withdraw Jorginho. I would go to the double pivot. I would take Xhaka off and play a double pivot of Partey and Jorginho, just to nail that midfield down, and then let the other 4 go about doing what they do. And I would replace Zinchenko with KT.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I really do agree with that, because they can't. If you've got a weak link in the chink of your armor, you don't allow teams to keep going back to the bucket. They're going over there, they're going there, and over again. And Man City was doing this as well. Don't give them that advantage. Take that advantage away from them, and go to a plan B. And I know Arteta doesn't have plan B, and that's a big thing among the Arsenal community. But time for you to create one, because you've got to stop. If teams have got one advantage against you, one, take it away. Don't give them the advantage. Talking about Newcastle now, I know Eddie Howe has talked about the decision to keep Wilson and Isak apart at this point, because the partnership really hasn't got going in the first half. Arsenal's just nullified it, if I'm honest. Look, credit to them. They did hit the bar. They did hit the post in the opening few minutes. But since then, they've not had an answer for Arsenal. It's as simple as that. I think in the last game, to go with what you talked about, Gary, in the last game at the Emirates Stadium, there was 9 yellow cards in that game. 9. And I don't think that there's... How many yellow cards are in this game? Let me just have a look. None. So he's just taking the gloves off and just... as Tony would say, he's taken the gloves off and just let them go. They're sparring right now.
So I'm just listening to Alan Shearer. I'm just listening to Alan Shearer commentating, and he's saying it should have been a penalty. He's saying that there's no proof that it's hit his leg first. Get lost, Alan Shearer, man. Get lost.
The first mistake there is this Alan Shearer. Tony, I'm going to add this over to you because you put the stats up on the screen.
Okay, so as you can see, despite being heavily under the pressure for the first 10-15 minutes of this game, Arsenal slowly managed to crawl back into this game and assert themselves by way of dominance in the shooting department, with 7 shots compared to Newcastle 6, and 5 on target compared to their 2. So, you know, guys saying that we should be 3 or 4 up. We could easily be 3 or 4 up because we've had 5 on target. Unfortunately, those five that have missed, the 5 out of the 6, sorry, or 7, you know, have very often been straight at the keeper. The percentage of possession, obviously, it's quite close after totally dominating for 10-15. Arsenal have definitely managed to get back into this game and are now at 49% to 51%. So it's a very close game by way of possession.
Tony has asked you, what's the XG for both teams?
Don't know. Let me see if I can find it.
It's a good question there.
Okay, so the XG for Newcastle is 0.37 and the XG for Arsenal is 1.04.
Yeah, that's
so
what I expected.
At this moment, this score, based on what the XG is likely to stay the same at 1-0 because the XGs are as it is. Another set of stats that I can bring up is that Newcastle have had 17 touches in the opposition box, whereas Arsenal have only had 9. And duels won, Newcastle have won 51% to Arsenal's 49%. So again, it's very close.
We've got a message for Gary here in the chat. G says, Gary, he goes, hey Gary, Newcastle fans moaning about gamesmanship after watching the reverse fixture at the Emirates is laughable. I think it's only in a play for about 20 minutes on that day. He says he thinks the ball was only in play for about 20 minutes that day. Oh, that is hilarious. That was a very frustrating game that me and Gary went to. Gary, did you hear that? You just mic'd out there for a bit. Yeah, talking about Newcastle gamesmanship there. Oh boy. Guys, can you still hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, good. I think we've lost Gary. I think Gary's having problems with his Wi-Fi. Gary? Oh, you're still there.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's just come back. It just dropped out. It's just come back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Did you read that message?
Yeah, I read it. Yeah, I say that game was it was embarrassing from Newcastle, man. All they did was try to kick lumps out of us. How Joe Linton was still on the pitch that day, I have no idea. And even today, the guy has gone through players 5-6 times, no sign of a yellow card. You know, if the ref gets one out early, he's got to watch himself, innit?
Yes, it's not a difficult one to deal with. G's just saying here, it's really unfortunate how often persistent fouling by home teams is just allowed in the Premier League. I'm all for letting them play if it's lax officiating both ways, but my biased perception is that we're getting bullied all over the park. You got to look at Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe's from, even though he's young, he's still from that old Bolton, Burnley type of, Bournemouth. He's still from that old sort of school where if you're not getting, if you're not matching a team for skill, then it's got to be all about will. It's got to be about your heart. And then,
but to be honest with you, Apollo, in you saying that, if you go back to the 90s when we was against Man United all the time, they used to do the same thing to us as well because they couldn't compete with the team that was on the pitch. They would kick lumps out of us.
That's right, and that's
the
what
Nevilles,
it came down to.
Roy Keane.
You know who started that, don't you?
Who?
Uruguay in the 50s and the 60s. They started that, and then the German team, talking World Cup now, then the German team started that in the 70s. But Uruguay were the original team where, whoa, if we don't match up with you skill-wise, then we're just going to kick 7 bells out of you on the park. And there was no, some of those days, like in the 50s, there was no red cards, yellow cards.
It's like that tackle on Schumacher, isn't it?
Yeah.
Was it the French goalkeeper?
Right. Yeah. If you guys go back to me and Tony did a podcast about Pele when he passed away, and we said most of what Pele did was in a skill era where there were no cards.
It was the German goalkeeper.
Yeah,
from the French striker, wasn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the question, guys. While we got a little bit of time left, I don't know if you've seen the reports that Mikel Arteta is training Emil Smith Rowe to replace Granit Xhaka.
Really?
Apparently, Mikel.
Yeah, I've seen the reports, but this is what Apollo has said this for a while.
I've said it for 4 years. I've told these guys 4 years ago, Smith Rowe is a natural replacement for Aaron Ramsey. I've been saying that since Wenger was our manager.
Now, my immediate problem is I like the idea of him football-wise doing that. However, reliability-wise, I have a huge problem with it.
He's too injury prone.
So I don't think anyone's going to disagree with you, including your mate down there, Tony. This really goes to all of those Kieran Tierney fans, Takasho Tomiyasu. I'm a Reece Nelson fan, so I'm going to bring his name in it as well, and Smith Rowe. I know you guys are talking about these players. I myself am included, but unless these guys can stay fit, then they are not an option for the team anywhere, because you cannot build a team based on straw roofs, and all. You have to make your house with brick. And I talked about Arsenal's injuries this season, and there've been a lot of them. How many injuries has Man City had? They don't build their house with straws. And when we talk about these players, guys, Arteta doesn't look at them as that kind of option. That's just the truth.
But the injuries. But the injuries we've had, though, Apollo. The injuries we've had, though, have probably come from players being overplayed because he hasn't rotated enough. All right, there was a period where we didn't have a striker, but he could have jigged things around, but he chose to keep playing in Nketiah 95 minutes, week in, week out. And we all said it. The guy needs a break. He done the same with Saka. So he hasn't literally changed it enough, in my opinion.
So there's levels to that. So you're right in some ways, but in other ways, we can talk about serial offenders. Now, last season, we know what happened. We had a thin squad. We lost Ben White. We lost Thomas Partey. We lost Kieran Tierney. We lost Tomiyasu. We were dead in the water, mate.
Zinchenko's
in the water. But I think, by the way, the second half has started. But I think out of that, when you look at this season,
go on, attack him. Oh,
Ben White's fitness has been much improved. Thomas Partey's
well
fitness
done,
has been
Kiwior.
improved in those missed time.
Have we?
Well done, Kiwior.
But you look at Kieran Tierney and you look at Tomiyasu, and their injury
that's it.
was still the same as it was last season, and Smith Rowe. So it's the serial offenders. I think that's what it comes down to. No doubt Newcastle's going to be coming out hard with the press here early in the second half, just to try and get some foothold back in this game.
Yeah, so again, this is one of them where the manager has got to have told the players, look, expect a reaction. Expect the next 10 minutes for them to press hard to get that equaliser. So we need to be firm. We need to try to get the second goal, but we must defensively be right on point.
Gary, this is what I'm hearing. I talked to Colin Gordon last week, one of the agents, and he did say to me that Edu had a phone call with Goodall's agent 2 weeks ago. Remember, they're only phone calls; they don't mean anything.
Pass, Odegaard.
I'm not having that.
But for me, I
don't see the point in that.
I'm not sure. I can definitely see the point in it. Whether it
Would
will
you
be
have it, Gal?
is a different thing.
Would you have it, Gal?
I think that's a bit of a backward step.
What player would you ideally like in that position? Danger.
The crossbar.
What
Crossbar.
the hell? What the hell? We just got let off again. Ball
Shit.
coming down the left wing.
Mid-season.
And guess what happens? Zinchenko falls over and leaves Callum Wilson. Yeah, and now he's just fouled Callum Wilson. But the previous incident, he falls over and leaves Callum Wilson an easy opportunity to cross. The cross comes in, and we get lucky because the shot hits the post again. It's Isak with the header. It hits the post and then it goes out.
Nice save from Ramsdale.
No save. It's off the post.
No. I'm ahead of you.
Oh, okay. So, as I said, you got to come out in this part of the game and you have to hold and say, do not let them score for 10 minutes. The crowd will be behind them. The energy will be high.
Yeah,
we must not concede. Oh,
because
what a save. What an absolute amazing save by Ramsdale.
Yeah.
Wow.
I told you.
Ball's gone out.
And also, guys, if you look back at the replay of Isak's header, Ramsdale actually has the bottom corner covered.
Wow. I think that's Dan Burn with the header. It's absolutely free. Anywhere except where he puts it, it's a goal. But Aaron Ramsdale's done really well to pour it out.
That's an excellent save.
Yeah.
Well, in that passage of play, when that ball gets played, Zinchenko turns the wrong way. He turns inside, and then he turns outside, and then he falls over.
Yeah.
Terrible.
He does head it straight to the goalkeeper, though, guys. I know you guys have said that with some of our attempts in the first half. It's Scar. I think it's Scar, is it? Yeah.
There's a foul again, ref. Bloody hell.
The ref's useless.
Ben White literally taken out.
Here we go.
Right, guys, I'm on 49 seconds and 49 minutes and 40 seconds.
20, you're about 30 seconds behind me.
Oh!
Ebony, talk to me.
Just fell over while trying to.
No, Martinelli hit the crossbar from the side.
Oh my God. How many times has the woodwork been hit today, Gary?
Twice.
Well,
No, that's three
actually.
times.
Once from Newcastle, once from us, innit?
No,
Two from
twice
Newcastle and one from us.
Oh, it's a great effort.
Who was the third one, Ed?
It's a great effort.
The first one was in the first minute of the game, mate.
Crossbar. It was one of them Thierry Henry-esque type efforts that was looking to go top bins, but it's hit the top of the crossbar.
Yeah.
So close.
That was Martinelli not scored.
Yeah. Isak's one hit the post, didn't it?
Yeah. Isak's hit the post twice.
Yeah.
Now he's up. That's well defended, Ben White.
That's a great shot there by Martinelli. The goalie doesn't even know about it. The goalie doesn't even know about it. It's cheeky.
I've lost my stream, man. I've lost my stream.
Joe Willock fouls Granit Xhaka. No, fouls Jorginho.
Wow, what a game. What a game for the neutral out there as well, man.
So as I said, I mean, look, we're still within that first 10-minute period. Obviously, Newcastle will come out with a passion, looking to get the equaliser. Arsenal now need to try to settle and try to retain the ball as best possible. And then, obviously, You know, tried to catch Newcastle on the break, which we nearly did with the Martinelli effort. Our finishing hasn't been top draw today because, quite frankly, we should have had 3 by now at least. But having said that, Newcastle themselves has also been wasteful of a couple of chances.
Andrew's cheeky, you know. He goes piggyback off Apollo's stream. And it's funny because if you guys are not aware, this is a public service announcement. Arsenal season tickets next season will move completely to digital. That's going to change a lot. From what I'm aware, a lot of people like myself that have been helping others out with their season tickets to try and get them sorted out while they're away in absence. Arsenal look like they want to put a stop to the ticket touts and everything else. And what basically Arsenal are saying is they want to control the content. So if someone's not going to be able to make a game,
run.
Oh, come on, man. That's a foul on Saka.
So from what we know,
Ebony swore, man.
Edge of the box.
Huh?
Into Zinchenko to Jorginho back out.
So from what we know, guys, there's going to be no ticket touting next season with this new digital system.
So that means we can't see any games.
Is that what we was talking about the other night, Apollo?
Yeah, it is. I just looked at the email. I read it. I was forced to sign onto the app. Next season, they want everyone to do it now, so that when next season comes in, the only way you can get in is with a digital pass. So it's linked to Google Pay and Apple Wallet. It's linked to all of that stuff. So I don't know how they're going to do it. We'll have to wait and see what happens.
Surely it'll work like any electronic ticket. So if you buy a ticket there's a foul, thank you. If you buy a ticket on Ticketmaster, you get an electronic ticket. You can still move the ticket, but only one person will get in.
Well, we'll have to see whether that works, because from what some of the guys have been saying in the forums is that they will be asking for IDs. Gary, I think, talked to me about that last week.
That is impossible. You cannot ID every player, every person when you have 60,000 people entering the stadium.
That's not how it works, Tony. You know, it would probably just be spot checks or something like that. Then they can't do 60,000 people going in the stadium.
I get that. But then, as I said, you also have to give people the option, because if someone is sick, you need to be able to move the ticket.
Yeah, I heard what I heard was.
I can answer that.
What I heard was that if you
I can answer that, Tony.
No, what I heard, Tone, was that say for instance, when Apollo gets a ticket,
go on, Gabriel, go on, Martinelli.
Sorry, Gary, go on.
Martinelli, edge of the box, feeds it to Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah. So what I heard, Tone, was
another shot that was just deflected off the player's boot, and it's a corner to Arsenal. Another good break for Arsenal. Go ahead, Gal.
Oh,
Gal, we can't hear you.
You know, he's really struggling with his internet connection at the moment.
He's lost it. He's lost this thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a link, Tony, because as you know, I look after someone else's ticket, which some guys can get to the games. Him asking me to speak, and that's the reason.
Wow, the incoming corner looked like it was curling into the net, and Nick Pope saved it. Oh, another foul, ref. Surely. What the hell?
I think TN is coming on.
How? Are you not calling the foul right there?
Because he's useless.
Unbelievable. Odegaard on the ball outside the area. Finds Gabriel Jesus on the edge. Cross comes in. Too far. Good idea. He was looking for Kiwior on the back post. That was very advanced of Kiwior. So Kieran Tierney, as you said, Ebony, is coming on. He's
Zinchenko.
Right. Tony.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Tony and everybody in the chat who was concerned about what we was just talking about, I've just sent a link here, and I'm not sure whether that link is going to work. So I'll send it internally. I've just sent a link here. This is a link to the.
So what I heard, Tone, was that so say for instance you've got a season ticket and you can't go. For someone to use that ticket, they have to go to the box office with photo ID, and they give you a printout to get into the ground. So that would stop. That would stop everyone else going.
What a tackle! Sorry, Gary. We were nearly cut apart just now, and I thought it was a certain goal. Looked like it was Willock was about to pull the trigger, and somewhere out of the blue, I think it's Kiwior comes in with an amazing tackle. Or is it Granit Xhaka? It might have been Granit Xhaka, but the recovery tackle is amazing.
It was Kiwior.
No, it's Granit Xhaka. It's Granit Xhaka who comes in on Joe Willock, who's about to just plant the ball in the back of the net, and Granit Xhaka comes in.
Yeah, it's Xhaka
with an amazing tackle.
Bertram says Xhaka to the rescue again, and some people want to change him. Yeah, but change him. That's the position, and it's not even that position. There are positions. Bertram, you're the man that said outside the party everybody's interchangeable. So top your eyes.
No, the point is right though.
Andrew says Xhaka as well. Xhaka getting bare shout out today. It was a great tackle.
It is. I mean, Xhaka going forward doesn't give you as much as other players, like for instance, a Smith Rowe could potentially do. But defensively, he does way more than Smith Rowe could possibly dream of doing. Gabriel Martinelli's going down the wing, a lot of space there to run into.
And it's him that who's that on the floor? Jorginho, is that Jorginho?
Yeah. It's one of those things, Tony, isn't it? Because we know from an offensive standpoint, Smith Rowe can do more, but from defensively, he can't. So
exactly. Yeah. So you have to strike the balance right, and that's why Granit Xhaka ultimately gets played ahead of Vieira, Smith Rowe, and anybody else who could play in that position. Because he's just that much better.
It's that balance that we talk about.
My 86-year-old mum could get it.
He hasn't got right. Sorry, what's that, Gary?
My 86-year-old mum could get in ahead of Vieira.
So
Gary.
Guys, I did send you the link. So guys, I did send you the link to
yellow card, mate.
Gary gets a yellow. So Tony, as you heard what Gary said, the link that I sent you.
Don't let me pull out the red,
The link that look, you just mash up Gary's internet connection there. So Tony, the link that I sent you, what you got to do is you got to fill that form in, send it off, and then they'll give you a ticket, and you've got to go to the box office and produce your ID with your with your form, and then they'll give you a pass to get in the stadium. That's how it works.
Working, Apollo.
That's long.
It is, but like I said, they are.
Can you imagine that queue? Can you imagine that queue on a game by game basis?
But I've got to be honest with you. When I go to the stadium with my Visa card, I'm one of the few people that are using it. Everybody's using digital. Everyone's going in with their phone. A lot of people are already using it. I'm not, because I'm old school. But I've had to change. I've had to use the digital system. So a lot of people are already doing it now. And when I go to the next game, that'll be the first game that I'll be using this digital system.
So that means that so the likes of me, Gary, and Tony can't go to games anymore.
At the moment, we don't know how it's going to work. But at the moment,
we have to wear an Apollo mask.
Yeah.
No, because all it would mean is somebody else. You just have to like I'm a member. Yeah, I've got a red membership.
So do I.
But currently, that means nothing. Yeah. Other than
you need my membership then.
So, effort from Bruno Guimaraes goes straight into the hands of Aaron Ramsdale. Good move from Newcastle, but as I said,
but if that membership's linked to you, he would have to be you to get the ticket.
Yeah, because I've got two memberships. I've got a silver and a gold. I got a silver and a gold. The silver I pay £55 a year for, and obviously the gold is my season ticket, which is £1,300. I don't use the silver. I just keep it there because it's taken me 10 years to get from red to silver. I waited 10 years to get from red to silver. There's no way I'm going to cancel that, man. I'm not cancelling that, but life depends on it.
Your children can get in on a silver, can't they?
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
Do you think I qualify for as a 10-year-old?
Them junior gunner tickets are worth nothing, man, because they're so limited in numbers that it's just not. I mean, kids have got to pay adult fares basically. It's like when you go on a plane. There's no such thing as a child fare. That's the problem with taking kids to Arsenal. Arsenal are hanging in there, guys. Easily.
So Newcastle have won a corner,
which goes nowhere.
Okay, thank you, Ebony.
Look, fair play to Newcastle. They're the home team. They're in third place. They need this just as much as we do, and they're turning up in the second half. We completely dominated them in the first half, if I'm honest. So
the ball's back in the Newcastle half.
Well done, Jesus. Did you just? Oh, Jesus! I thought that he won a goal kick.
So Newcastle have now got on Miguel Almiron.
Yeah, Miguel Almiron.
It's a shame we didn't get that second goal. He nearly
came to Arsenal. Came from America. Although he's Latin American descent, but he played in the MLS, I think. So Almiron comes on for Jakub Murphy. So it's a very tight game. It could go either way. It could be 2-0 Arsenal. It could be 1-1. Very open. Obviously, we want Arsenal to get the second.
Yeah. Guys, just want to get your opinion at the moment. Who do you think's been Arsenal's best player so far?
In this game?
Yeah. Also, guys, in the chat, you guys as well in the chat, who do you think's been Arsenal's best player so far?
I would go with Odegaard.
What? Who is Xhaka arguing with now?
Corner cross comes in, it goes over everybody, and it's a goal kick to Arsenal. Yeah, the dog in Xhaka. Somebody is winding him up. Yeah, they know what to do. They know what to do. So Xhaka's been elbowed by somebody. He came up off the floor.
Jesus,
you guys already said that.
He's not here.
Gary is really, really struggling.
I can see. Guess who it was? Joe Linton. Forearm charged into Xhaka.
This guy needs to be sent off. This is
seriously
ridiculous. This is annoying.
He seriously just forearm charged Xhaka.
So, who's been the best player today? Cam says Jorginho has been masterful. G said Odegaard's been the best player. Tony says Odegaard's been the best player. 18 says Jorginho.
Yeah, my internet's playing up all over the place today.
Yeah, it's mad. Have you turned it off and reset it?
Whoa! Did you see that elbow?
That was a foul. That is a foul.
That's not a foul. That was weak. That's not even a foul. I need to see that again. I think I just saw
the last foul on Gabriel Jesus. Are you somewhere before us?
I'm looking at the Joe Linton Xhaka. Oh, I just saw Jesus go down.
Yeah, that's an elbow. My man came in with the elbow raised.
Right, so who was that? Burn?
That looked like Dan Burn.
Oh dear, that's at least a booking.
Just give the ball to
Look,
us, man.
Arteta's standing there thinking, what do we got to do to get somebody booked in this place?
There's an agenda out there against Arsenal, I'm telling you.
Well, Newcastle are the richest team in the world. So people are getting paid today.
Hang on a second. Yeah, that's an Arsenal throw. Thank you. Trippier
Someone's getting paid today.
You know what? I really like Kieran Trippier, but he is one of them little nasty little rats when he wants to be.
He's a spud, and that's it. That's all we can say about it.
No, but I like the guy. I really do. I would love to have him in our team, but he is a little rat.
I love this. I love this. I can't wait to show you lot this. This is gold.
Okay. Goal
This is
kick
gold.
to Newcastle.
Hey, Gary, I've got something for you, bro.
Gary's stuck.
Poor
Gary's
Gary.
stuck.
I feel bad for Gary, man. I keep telling Gary, stay away from those Tesco's Wi-Fi, man. stay away from the Tesco's or the Asda Walmart. Let's have a look at this. Oh, this is hilarious.
Saka again. Is that Saka again? No, Jesus.
Hey, Gary. Gary, can you hear me? I've got something for you. Look at this. This is crazy. Listen to this. This is from.
Okay, after win a goal. Hang on.
Oh God!
Saka into Jesus. Jesus in the box. Go past his man. Cross comes in. Oh. Goalkeeper parries it out for a corner to Arsenal. It was a shot on target from Jesus. To be honest, Nick Pope had his corner covered because it was at a very acute angle. It was a very ambitious attempt. Let's put it that way.
So guys, Sky Sports says Xhaka really is like the Tin Man, isn't he? Does he have a brain? He's playing so brilliantly, so why tarnish it up by G'ing up the crowd with this array of tricks? He did it at Anfield, and he's doing it again here. Calm down, lad. The guy, that is a fantastic nickname for him, the Tin Man. Strong, durable, ain't got no
Arsenal
brain.
Knocking on the door.
Hey, Tony, I just think I found the nickname for your boy, the Tin Man.
Hey, listen, I'm still calling. Hey, I'm calling my guy Cosmo. And you know where that comes from.
Oh yeah, man! I just wrote the review today. I'm gonna shoot when I finish with this. I'm gonna shoot the
How's
video
that not foul, ref?
and then I'll probably edit it.
Unbelievable.
I'm still at the Arsenal attack here at the moment.
Oh man,
Martinelli. Is that Martinelli?
Whoa!
And a cute angle.
Whoa! Ebony, talk us through it, man.
It was one of those goals that came from an acute angle. Watch it.
No, you talk us through it. You got
so
the point.
Martinelli's attacking the box.
It's an acute
on
angle.
The byline. Oh, it's an own goal.
Oh,
it's an own goal from Shaw.
No, it's a Martinelli goal.
No, it's a Shaw because he's on the byline. He's cutting it back into the area.
Let's see that again.
The goalkeeper touches it onto Shaw and it ricochets off Shaw into the goal. It's definitely not a Martinelli goal.
Martinelli coming down the flank.
Yeah.
Right.
He's cutting the ball back. The ball's going in the wrong direction. It's an own goal.
Yeah, here it is. Martinelli down the left. I'm just getting it now, guys. Martinelli down the left takes his time. He takes him down the line. Yeah, it's an own goal.
Yeah,
the ball is actually being played into the middle.
It comes off his foot.
Yeah, it's definitely
no goal.
If you look at where Martinelli kicks the ball towards the goal, he can't score.
Yeah.
He cannot score. He's taking the ball right to the byline and fed it back in, and it's literally a ricochet.
So, I'm going to go to the 101 list and find out which one of us said that Arsenal was going to win at Newcastle on the prediction list.
I did.
I don't think I did, to be honest. But I wish I did.
You guys hate when I bring this list out. So let's have a look at this list. So let me take that out for a second. Newcastle is here. So who said we were going to beat Newcastle? Apollo.
Ebony.
I said
Tom,
yes, and Tom
Vinci.
Bruna,
and Vinci.
and
The
you,
African
Apollo.
Ebony and Tom.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Man.
Tom had every win. Oh.
And
Wow.
Gary.
No, Gary said draw.
No.
Gary said draw with me.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Vinci
Excellent.
said win. Yeah.
Now
Vinci
he's got
said
to give
win.
a yellow card. Tom Burners just stepped all over Saka. Wow.
Well, he can't protect
He's
him
got to
anymore,
give a yellow
Tony,
card
because
there.
they don't look like they're going to win this
He's
one.
nowhere near the ball. Yeah, he finally gets a yellow card.
Yeah, because they're 2-0 down, Tony. He can't help them
Oh.
anymore. Tony, he can't help Newcastle win anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out of options now. Oh my God. Trossard for Saka getting kicked continuously. Need to protect him. I don't know what they're doing with.
They need to take Saka off because he's going to get injured.
Yeah.
And Trossard does need to come on. He should have been on from day one, from minute one.
Hey, look, you can't knock him for not being on because we're 2-0 up.
Yeah.
I know, but still, they're kicking lumps out of Saka.
I do have to say one thing though, guys. Me and Gary talked about when Newcastle came to the Emirates and they just parked the bus. Eddie Howe, after the game, said we had to do this because if you open up against Arsenal, they will beat you.
Yeah.
And in this game, it proves what Eddie Howe was talking about. Because Newcastle have opened up against Arsenal, they've tried to play them 1-on-1 and look at the scoreline. So you can't, so although we laugh at them and say, look how negative you guys were against, it worked for them. They left the Emirates with a point. It hurt us that game. It hurt them as well.
We're about to do something that Man City couldn't do, which is win at Newcastle.
Exactly.
James's.
Yeah.
Newcastle are getting frustrated now.
And look, guys, it could be worse for them. They could be 4 or 5 down right now. That's the honest truth. And I don't want to hear anything about hitting the woodwork because we've hit the woodwork as well.
Oh, they've given it away. Got away with that. Got away with that. They got away with that. They were playing with fire in their own box and somehow managed to contrive to get it away. Welcome back, Gary.
Gary, did you turn your internet off like I said?
No.
Gary, man, you got to restart the router. Gary.
Does anybody know how to get rid of Martinez from the back of my shirt effectively?
No.
Well, I personally wouldn't get rid of it because I rate him. I rate him as one of the best goalkeepers in the league.
Yeah, it's not. It never turns out nice.
And I'm still gutted about that.
And I've been to a shop that does all that letter printing to do it, and they said nah, because they can't guarantee what the result will look like.
Fair enough.
Because every time I get a top, I want to get rid of the Fly Emirates, Fly Rwanda thing.
Yeah.
Gary, can you hear me?
He's stuck again. Wow.
He's piggybacking the name.
I've had enough.
Gary, can you hear me? Yeah, he needs to turn off his router. He needs to turn his router off.
I need to get the food. Right.
All right, so Newcastle are making a couple of subs. Whittaker's coming off.
Well done, Odegaard. Wins a foul.
And who's this coming on for him?
St. Maximum and Gordon.
Yeah, that's going to leave them even more open.
Yeah. because they know they have to go for goals now.
Yeah, that's right. They're out of options.
They need 3 goals, and they're making a big gamble here.
They won't be getting 3 goals, trust me. Not even 1.
Well, let's hope not.
Right, goal kick.
Yeah,
Callum Wilson.
Andrew says Gordon and St. Maximum, yep. Yeah, Victor says ESPN Sports had ruled us out. Yeah, man, listen, this was a game that everybody thought that we were going to go and really struggle with. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? And look, it hasn't been easy. By no means has this game been anything but. But Arsenal has turned up.
When you got second against third, that's what you expect. It should be a barnstormer.
And this has to go down really as one of the top 3 results of the season, in my opinion.
Well done, Ben White.
You know, remember I was telling you guys, outside of Man City, not a lot of teams can score against this lot, and we've got
finally
2 goals.
Go on, Martinelli. Oh, just made the wrong decision again.
Right, Trossard is coming on, as is Partey.
Oh.
Okay.
So Martinelli's coming off.
So I wonder if that solidifies Jorginho for man of the match, or will they give it to Odegaard? They might give it to Odegaard.
Because I've not been impressed with Jorginho at all. So Trossard is coming
Jorginho,
off.
I think, had a really good game.
Yeah.
And Odegaard is coming off for Partey.
Oh,
is it the other way round?
Jesus done well there to stay on his feet. Martinelli just all over the place.
No, Partey's coming off for Odegaard now. Here we go. Here we go.
Oh, sorry. Did you see that, Ebony? Andrew said, Ebony, get Martinelli to change his name to Martinez. That's nice.
Good game, Odegaard. Well done.
Hey, Gary, look at that.
So this is going to be an interesting change, because where does who play? Does Thomas play ahead of Jorginho, or does Jorginho play ahead of Thomas? This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I don't think they do it. I think they go to a double pivot. We've talked about this before, Tony. I think he's going to move into a double pivot.
We'll soon see.
Because Odegaard is off as well.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Is someone going to take up that mantle of where Odegaard plays on the right-hand side?
Look, he's telling Jorginho now. So he just had a word with Jorginho.
Right, so Newcastle are making another couple of subs.
That'll be their last 2, because they've made 3 already.
Yeah, so Anderson's come on for...
Oh! Ouch.
This one.
Gordon's got gone in on Tierney.
Yeah, back of the head.
Yeah.
So Joe Linton has come off for Anderson, and Target has come on for... Anyway.
Yeah, I don't even know who that player is. Who are ya? Who are ya? I'm glad to see the back of Joe Linton. He has just beat everybody up this game.
He should have actually been sent off.
Has that Dan Burn come off? Yeah, Dan Burn's come off for Target, and Anderson on for Joe Linton.
It's got 9 more minutes of extra normal time, folks.
So,
yeah, we're definitely in the double pivot here, Victor. I even think the formation's changed. I think we're now going with a 4-man midfield. It's definitely short. It's to build up the solidarity in the midfield. That's why this change was made.
Yeah, that's good management. That's good management, because now you're 2-0 up away from home. Just secure the win. Secure the win. You know, don't go crazy if you get an opportunity. But that's good defending. Nearly put Gabriel Jesus was nearly put through by Trossard, was it? But he lost control in the box, and then the defender was able to shepherd the ball out.
Wow.
So yeah, I think you're right, Apollo.
Nice one. Nice one. Nice
Jorginho to the right. Oh, get up, Thomas. It's a funny looking shape at the moment because it looks like a potential. Oh, what was you doing there? Stand on your feet.
Well, guys, we're 7 minutes away from getting
Oh,
our
what a
10th
tackle, Kieran Tierney.
clean sheet away from home.
Excellent tackle, Tierney.
My boy.
And well defended by Ben White. Do you know what? Ben White has been quiet but effective.
He's
Because
been our
when you
best
think
defender.
about how dangerous Alexander Isak is, and
Exactly.
he's seen very little.
That's a good shout. Yeah, that's a good shout.
Gabriel Jesus again losing it in the area. Wow. Stop being there, fella.
He's trying to do too much.
He is. Newcastle player tried to win a penalty off of Xhaka.
He
Xhaka just stood his ground and
He didn't even touch him.
He didn't. He just threw himself to the floor. And I'm
Yeah,
so
I just
glad
sent
the referee just-
I just sent Vincey a message there. Gary, is everything all right, mate?
Yeah, I'm back.
Good.
If you can hear me,
Still a bit
no,
choppy though.
my internet
Sounds a bit choppy.
is just
Gary.
tripping out all over the place today. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I told
Turned
you
it off,
to
I've turned it on. I've connected.
Might be some kind of irregularity on your local.
Yeah, it might just be what's going on in the area because the reason why you turn it off is so that it can connect a better device signal when it reboots. Sometimes it gets fragmented.
Well done, Ramsdale. Ramsdale's now doing his.
He goes,
I'll
I can
go
hear an
down.
alarm as Gary's neighbour discovered him piggybacking. That's giving me joke today.
Aaron Ramsdale is definitely just milking this. There's no reason for him to be on the floor.
All right, so we've got
Yeah.
so
He's-
Reece Nelson and Eddie Nketiah, my godson, are now coming on.
Excellent
Good.
management.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Newcastle are getting back what they did at the Emirates. Not nearly as badly, but clearly that was a bit of sportsmanship by Aaron Ramsdale. So it's Saka coming off for Reece Nelson,
And Jesus is coming off for Nketiah.
Eddie Nketiah, yeah. Sad to say, another game, Gabriel Jesus hasn't scored a goal.
Don't worry about
He
that.
scored in the last one.
Yeah.
In fact, he scored 5 in his last 5. Because there's one
5
game he
in
had
5.
2. He had
2
2
in
in it.
one
So
game.
yeah, so he scored 5 in
Okay.
his last 5. He's on decent form at the moment.
I don't think
Reece Nelson and Gabriel. Nice one. Right.
So we're 87 minutes now, 3 minutes of normal time remaining. Newcastle playing
Yeah,
around with everybody
86,
putting on
30.
5 substitutions.
I know everyone's in the box now, isn't it?
Yeah, with
Yeah, they're holding
5
it, man. They're holding
substitutions,
it.
there's a change of ploy. Well done, Xhaka.
Victor.
Oh, no, not so good, Xhaka.
I do agree that with Cam, even that Kiwior's been brilliant.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, what is that alarm? That might be Gary's.
No,
That
it's
might be
me.
good.
It's
Oh,
No, it's
right.
nothing to do.
it's a
Nothing
car,
to do with
it's a
me.
car in my car park.
Oh, okay.
It's not my car, but it is a car in my car park. I've got the window open, so
It's a nice.
yeah, it's a nice day. So I'm having a bit of nice breeze coming into the lounge.
I hear you, man. I went out today. I wasn't feeling well because of the headaches, and I cleared my head, took some drugs. I felt a little bit clear. I walked for a walk. I went to shoot some hoops. I put 50 shots up on the basketball net.
Took some drugs, yeah? You just took some drugs, okay.
Yeah, I had to.
Legal drugs, obviously.
Of course, they're legal.
Nice
Yeah,
one.
but
Kieran.
let's clarify. Let's clarify it was legal drug.
Yeah, there's the clarification. That's the box I bought them in.
That's it.
Yeah.
Tesco's are selling drugs now. Wow.
Yeah, and they
This
even
must
said
be
to me,
bad.
they said, "Look after yourself. Look after yourself."
Oh my life.
Yeah. all signed, stamped, and taxed for the government to get their share.
Corner to Newcastle.
Newcastle nearly got one back, not quite, from about 30 yards, not quite 30 yards, over the bar, over the crossbar. Goal kick.
So
Right.
all this game, Newcastle has still only had 4 shots on target.
That's mad.
They've had 4 shots on target. Odegaard's had 3. Saka's had 1. Gabriel Jesus has had 1. And Martinelli has had 1. So in total, we've had 6 on target.
By the way, for anybody living in America, we play for prescription £10 for a box of naproxen, anti-inflammatory. In the States, that's about $139. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, by the way, that's with insurance.
Crazy.
Hey,
It's
Tony.
just crazy.
Hey, Tony, that's with insurance.
It's just nonsensical. Come on, Eddie, you've got to hold that. Coming on, trying to make them touches. St. Maximum doing his flying around all over the place. Ball comes out to.
How have they got
Guimaraes.
6 minutes injury time?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
I don't.
That's not worth 6 minutes.
You've had 10 substitutes, bro.
6 minutes.
6
Yeah,
minutes,
you've
Tony.
had 10 substitutes. That's half a minute per substitute.
All right, Ebony, we'll give them that. They still ain't gonna score. Listen, Ebony, they're trying everything, you know. Don't get that Arsenal free kicks. Don't
Look
book the
at that.
Newcastle
Look at those
players.
stats.
Let them kick the Arsenal players all over the place. And then now you want to add another. You took it 6 minutes, man. Check it. Yeah.
I think Jorginho's just been given player of the match.
Yeah, I thought. What did I say to you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, what did I say to you guys? It's got to be Jorginho. It's been a masterclass from him today. Yeah, that's what I thought.
His stats are really good.
Yeah, he's just controlled the game. I said it at half time. When I asked all of you lot and went around, I said he's my pick. And
yeah, I thought he had a good game. I missed the last. Yeah. I missed the last 15 minutes.
Yeah. I just thought he's controlled the game. And look, really, I should talk about it when we do the player ratings. But I do want to say, him along with Trossard, every time they've put on the shirt, they've performed. There's not one game I could turn around and say to you, like, oh, he was absolutely horrible in this game. Not one. Not one game that I can turn around and say he was horrible in this game. So credit to Jorginho. Never had a bad game for Arsenal. Yeah. Excellent. Really happy for the kid, man, because he's been wanting to come here to play for ages. Is that Chelsea just didn't want to release him. So, yeah, so credit to him for that, man. Guys out there in the chat, sorry I haven't been as vocal with you because I'm trying to save my ear miles for my voice for when it really matters. I'm just building myself up now because the game will be finished soon and I've got to talk myself through player ratings. So actually, before I do that, let me just take my drugs and then I'll be back with you in a second.
Newcastle are throwing everything at including the kitchen sink now.
Yeah, as expected.
So they've got a corner taken by Trippier. Lovely catch by Ramsdale. Lovely catch.
So the corner that you just mentioned, Alisson Maximum using his speed to try and get around Ben White, but Ben White stuck to his task and was able to defend him perfectly. Yeah, it's a beautiful catch. So we're now coming up to 94 minutes. With 2 minutes left in injury time.
Right. Well, I'm on 94-15. Tierney's just had a throw in. The fuck? What are you doing? Yo. You fouled him, you.
Ebony.
Now, all right, so Nketiah gets fouled at the corner. And the player that fouled him is basically trying to gaslight him, basically. You got two players on top of Nketiah.
Yeah.
Nketiah's trying to get the ball to move it out of the way.
Yeah.
And then,
you see, this is where Granit Xhaka would have been all over them.
Oh,
there he is,
now you pull out the yellow card.
Yeah. They're both going to get it, ain't they? I guarantee he gives both players the yellow card. But
No, he doesn't.
You know where it came from.
No, he doesn't.
Does he not? I'm in shock.
Actually, I'm lying. He gives one to Shah as well.
Well, Shah started it.
Exactly.
Unlucky Eddie nearly got the intercept there. 20 seconds to go. At 21 seconds to go.
Who's this one? Anderson. A foul on Xhaka. Oh, it's finished now anyway. It's finished. Finished. That was one dirty game today.
There was a lot of a lot of very physical fouls.
One of the hardest.
Anderson just went in 2-footed on Xhaka as well. That should have been a yellow card as well.
They should have had at least two sendings off. They should have had two sendings off. Two. Well, we're now 1 point behind Man City. And we've got 4 games to go. Newcastle getting a taste of their own medicine in game management, done exactly the same in the first half versus Everton recently.
Yes, get in.
You know what?
Guy, Jigesh, I will be seeing you very soon. The Roving Reporters reunion very soon. I look forward to seeing you, my brother. I'll bring the shooting boots. Will be out again. Well, kicking boots. Not so much shooting nowadays.
Guys, what a fantastic result, man. I mean, that is a huge 3 points for Arsenal. The title race, guys, is actually still on. But I do want to say one thing after this this game, Tony. we are now officially 16 points ahead of Newcastle with 3 games to go. So what that means is essentially Newcastle cannot finish in second place. Arsenal can finish no lower than second now. So that's official. We want to talk us through Jorginho. I talked about him at half time and look at the results there, guys.
Yeah, so absolutely fantastic figures from Jorginho. 68 touches, the most of any Arsenal player. 1 assist, of course, to the Odegaard goal. 42 successful passes, again, the highest number in the Arsenal team. 27 passes received from the back line, so they know where to go. Possession won 8 times. Now, this is a part of his game that I think we underappreciated today, because I didn't see him being that rock that normally we expect from Thomas Partey. But you know what? Fair dues, because if you were the man who had won the possession the most, then you got to be applauded. I thought clearances was going to be down to Granit Xhaka, but he has won that as well. So overall, a fantastic performance by Jorginho, and obviously a well-deserved player of the match.
Yeah, and as I said, guys, I don't, and I made this statement before, I've never seen him play a bad game for the club this season. I just haven't. Every time we've played him, he's been around a 7 or 7.5 or an 8. Maybe one game I could say maybe a 6.5, but he's never stunk up the joint for Arsenal. He's delivered, and all it does is, I know he's signed until next season as well, but all it does is it makes us stronger in the Champions League, where you just have to do something different. Everyone's asked for, where's the plan B? What happens with Partey if he's injured? Or what happens if his Partey's off form? He's now started back-to-back games where we didn't win in 4 games, and now we've won 2 in the bounce. So it really does show what Arteta's doing in the midfield is working. I wish he could only translate this to in the attack and what he's doing in the wings, because we've seen him change Holding for Kiwior as well. So there are some changes that he's making that would really do well. Gary says, see you for the next game. He's internet connection. He just can't hold it down. Yeah. So in that respect, I'm going to try and get this player rating sorted out here. So here we go. So I'm going to start typing away. Ebony, let me know what your thoughts are. Take as long as you like, because I've got to put these numbers in.
All right. Okay. Aaron Ramsdale, 8. He made some vital saves today. I don't know what more to say about him. I mean, he has been on his game. He made a great save when he was on the floor. He made a great save with his hand in the first half. I can't remember who tried to. I can't remember who tried to go for goal, but he was on point today, as always. So I'm going to give him a 9. Actually, he's been really.
Yeah, I haven't
really
put
good.
my ratings up yet. I haven't put my ratings up yet, Ebony. But just let me know what you thought of the game as a whole.
Okay. It was a game of 2 halves, quite literally. It was a very intense physical game. As far as I'm concerned, Newcastle should have had at least 6 yellow cards. Joe Linton should have been sent off. I think that, we held ourselves well. We passed well. We defended well. I think right at the start, we were a bit lackadaisical. But then once we got our goal, we just didn't really take our foot off the gas. And I thought that the link-up play was great. The awareness was great. It was all right. It wasn't a bad performance. It was a very good performance, but it was very, very physical. Physical to the point where you thought that World War III was going to break out, because that's how physical Newcastle were. So I thought we played pretty well.
Yeah. Let me. I've just got a few more. You're checking your stats, aren't you?
And also, Newcastle, St James's Park is a very hard place to go.
frozen as long as you're going to be another 2 minutes typing this stuff up.
Yeah, so I'm pleased that we actually passed that test because St James's Park is a very difficult place to go, and if you consider how well Newcastle have been playing, they're quite hard to beat. So, yeah, I'm pleased. I'm happy. I'm happy that we didn't concede in the first minute, because that would have actually meant that had they scored the first goal, they would have probably gone on to win it. So, but you know, once we got that goal, we didn't really take our foot off the gas. So I'm pleased with that. I'm very pleased with the performance today.
Excellent. Right, so let me just go into this. Just bear with me for a second, guys, and I'll get the player ratings all sorted out for you. I'm just putting controversial figure. Very controversial, guys. Right. Okay. Let's lead off with this. All right, Tony, I'm gonna leave you and let you carry on doing that. I'm gonna go through the player ratings. So let's get rid of all of this. Let's get rid of that, and then I can talk you through it. Right. Okay, guys. Here's my player ratings. So, Aaron Ramsdale, he had his work cut out for him. Very busy for our guy today. He made some really key saves. And I think some of the ones, if you look at the two that hit the post, the first one I don't think he could do much about. The second one, which was Isak's header, he actually had that covered. So if the ball was going on the inside of the post, in other words, on target, Ramsdale would have batted that away with his hands. So regardless of whether he's hitting the post, I know it's all dramatic and everything because hitting the woodwork always is, but he had that covered. He was fantastic today. I have to say it's been torrid at home, but away from home, this is now our 10th clean sheet away from home. 10th clean sheet in 18 games away from home. That's a fantastic result, guys. It really is. And today he deserved it. Absolutely fantastic display from him. And it's what you need in these times. Bertrand, welcome, bro. Actually, I'm wondering whether I should let you give your thoughts about the game before I go into my play ratings, because I've only just done Ramsdale. So, yeah, let me take that off, and then let's get Bertrand's thoughts on the result, and then I'll talk about player ratings.
Look, I thought it was a very, very good victory. We started out very shaky. We weren't in the game in the first 10 minutes. They probably should have scored, and Murphy hit the upright. But I thought we came into the game, played really well. You should have spells against Newcastle where you're being challenged. But I thought we played out the game really well. I was very pleased with Arteta putting Zinchenko off. I mean, he got enough information to tell him that he needs to take him off. But pulled him about a 57th minute, 58th minute of the game to give Tierney a better defensive player. You could see that when Almiron came in, because he always liked to play the 1-2 and get behind, Tierney was playing him. So I thought it was really good on his part in making the in-game adjustments, which I think he, as I've said, throughout the season, he's lacked. But I think overall we played really well. It's interesting, Apollo, that when we played City, did what I call suicide press, which is you just full force out the field. If they play the balls over the top of the first line of the press, then it's Haaland and De Bruyne against your defense, basically. Today, it was a hybrid press in a sense. Sometimes we would go deep, but most times the press start in the middle of Newcastle's half of the field versus starting up with the goalkeeper in the 18-yard box, which is a different way of pressing. So the space between the three sections are narrower, and it's hard to get the ball between the lines. And frankly, offensively too, if you realize Martinelli got behind, Saka got behind, which you normally don't do in games. We don't get behind defense in the middle of the park. And we had that twice in the game, just because when we won the ball and they were further upfield, we have space behind them. So I thought the game worked out really, really well. Glad we won, even though I don't think we're going to win the title. I've said that from the season started. I haven't changed my mind. But I think we're showing, actually we went to Newcastle and beat us and we won the game. Today I thought it was going to be the same game given how they started, but we did a good job of recouping, reassessing how we were operating. And Kiwior, who people had doubts about, is showing that he belongs actually. I mean, obviously, he's a Polish international and he's young. So it bodes well that a left footer can play on the right side of the back two and play well and hold his own. I was concerned when my boy came on the field because he was Newcastle's only danger. And Tony should realize that, that he was Newcastle's only danger when he came on. Had a good chance to score when Ramsey made the save. I thought Ramsey, by the way, was exceptional today. And I thought that he did not want to be given up that he did so he can realize that he can't take those risks and keep on getting away with them. He didn't make any errors today that could have led to goal, which was important. So pleased with the performance, the outcome, on to the next game.
Excellent. Yeah, well, I can't hear them. Oh, are they coming on? If they are, then I'm gonna let them.
Do you want me to do it?
Carry on.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah. If they're on talking right now, Tony, then just do that one.
We chose something special today. To come here and win is not easy. The way we did it, we had to be very smart. We have to be a bit, ugly at times. And I think this is a big step for us, a young team coming here and doing all the things we do. I think it's it shows we've come a long way.
Jorginho, how are those legs?
Kind of. It will be better tomorrow and the day after, I think. But the most important that we go home with 3 points. What we wanted. And we know this league. We know sometimes we can't win every game playing beautiful football the way we want. And I'm really pleased to see our team can play this kind of games. Understand that sometimes it's not possible. It's not easy to go through just with passes, and sometimes you need to fight. And I'm very proud of the team, the way it fought them to the end.
So for those of us who've only ever played football in front of 3 or 4 people, in a wild atmosphere like that, how do you even hear yourself think, let alone keep the team ticking over and finding a teammate like you do so well?
Well, this atmosphere is so beautiful. It just motivates us to play, gives us so much fire inside. So much.
To be fair, it's not your first big game, is it?
No, I've played a few before, but every time is the atmosphere there. Every one of us, we dreamed when we were a kid, and now it's time to enjoy it. It's just beautiful.
Martin, you touched on it already, but given what was at stake today and what happened here last year, how big was that?
Yeah, I think that's a big factor as well. I think last year here was one of the toughest days in my career, to be honest. After dropping a few points after the Man City game, to come back and beat Chelsea and then come here and win again, I think it shows the mentality. I think it shows how far we've come, as I said. And we have to keep going. We have to keep digging and fight until the end. That's what we're going to do, and we'll see.
That maybe shows there's a few more twists and turns left in this title race.
Yeah, I mean, it's football. Anything can happen. So we have to be ready. We have to do our part, and we'll see.
Player of the match is Jorginho. Close run thing, I believe. Probably you every time, Martin. He's not happy, is he? He's not happy.
You can play the good football. You have to fight on the pitch. So.
Right, is that it, Tony? Yep. All right, excellent. So, Bobby Jones, big shout out to you. Bobby Jones saying, Arteta, look what happens when you put a bit of trust in your squad. And G saying, look how stupid Newcastle are. They actually believed that they could play an open. I did mention this about 10 minutes ago. They can play an open game against us and compete. And this goes back to Eddie Howe at the Emirates saying, we parked the bus against them in the Emirates because we can't play them 11 on 11. And again, the narrative was we buckled at the tail end of last year because of the lack of squad. Everyone was gassed and they couldn't perform. So today was really a lot about showing Newcastle who we are, because this is revenge for the end of last season. And it was just a match against two just for a neutral. Today, very impressive game. A lot of us, as I said, a lot of everybody had them down as a loss today in a draw. There was only a few of us here, including myself, that said that Arsenal would win today. But it was just the level of the win, the dominance. After the first 10 minutes was shaky, it was how they controlled that first half and really could have gone 4 or 5 goals up. So, look, let's get into the player rating so that we can look at the performances individually.
Gave you all the notes
I did talk about Ramsdale before. 8.5. I did say, just fantastic saves that he's made. Well-earned clean sheet. 10 clean sheets now.
Do you want to
away
hear
from home
Aaron
for him.
Ramsdale talking because he's just come on the mic?
Actually, yeah, go on. You might as well go on.
Okay, hang on.
How we were feeling, all of our reactions. So we had that burning desire as soon as we were leaving the hotel that wasn't going to be the same today.
So that gave you all the motivation, did it, to go on and do what you did here this afternoon?
It might have given us extra motivation. Not all of it, because at the end of the day, we're fighting with Manchester City to try and do something special, and I think it gave us that extra bit to show when we needed to dig deep. It really helped us.
But still, that first 10 minutes was furious, wasn't it? What's it like to play in this kind of heat?
Right, it's enjoyable. I think Shay would know better than most, but
doesn't always look enjoyable.
It might not for everyone else, but I really enjoy it. There's nothing else you can ask for than so many fans screaming for one team. Our away fans packed out the away end, singing all day. And once you ride that storm, that's when you've got to try and be composed and try and play. And I thought we thoroughly deserved the lead. We got lucky by them hitting the post, but I think from then on, we were in control, really.
Of course, you made some big saves as well. We've got Shay here to cast a critical eye over some of those moments as well.
I don't think I could be critical of it, to be honest. Some brilliant saves.
But you certainly had to play your part, and you knew this was going to be the case, didn't you?
Yeah, I think when you come away to any Premier League stadium, you've got. I was a bit lucky there, to be honest.
Big leg.
Yeah, my body weight. I'm thinking he's going to reverse it because of my defender. And managed to sort of get my foot out. But
this is the save, I think, of the afternoon. It's an unbelievable save, for reaction save, and to get a strong enough hand as well to get it up and high.
Yeah,
to give yourself a chance to get back up again.
This one's a real enjoyable one. I think I played here for Sheffield United in the lockdown season, and I made a very similar save. I think it's from John Joe Shelby. But yeah, we work a lot with our goalie coach on reactions and set. Just getting set and being able to.
I think it's a classic example of not giving up as a goalkeeper, because Cher's his favourite to score there. Your balance is right. He's in a set position, and it's a phenomenal save. At the key moment as well in the game, it was 1-0, I think.
And just tell us a little bit about the game plan as well. We've got the manager coming out here, hopefully to speak to us as well. But we were interested to see that Jorginho was playing to stay instead of Thomas Partey. Was it part of the plan, once you've got through those early stages, when you did seem to go a bit longer than normal, to play through Jorginho and get him to calm and settle the team down?
I think that's a massive strength of Jorginho, is to get on the ball and play. We played the other day against Chelsea, and it was a similar theme. But we spoke before the game. There's no shame in going long and winning territory. Every team does it. So we tried to, as you said, weather that storm for the first 10, 15 minutes and then play through him. And he was fantastic today, and man of the match, rightly so.
So 3 games to go, 1 point behind.
Yeah.
What's the message to Manchester City?
We'll be going as hard as we can for 3 games. It's not in our hands at the minute, but we'll be pushing every step of the way, and hopefully, if they slip up, we'll be there to pick up the pieces. But we'll be looking on from the wings, really.
Well done, Aaron. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Congratulations.
So I've just been looking down, and I've been talking to you guys about the away form, and that is now our 10th clean sheet away from home. And I was looking at the results, and this has to go down in the top 3 results away from home. Most importantly, and I think we need to add Brighton to that. The 4-2 win away at Brighton, the 4-2 win away against Unai Emery's Aston Villa. Again, that was very impressive. Some of you might be talking about the 2-0 win away at Spurs. We hadn't won there in 9 years. This is different, guys, because I did talk about this in the Premier League show on Friday. Bertram, you're already aware of this, where you looked at Newcastle and, the goals that they'd let in. If you take out Man City, they've only let 21 goals in all season in their last 31 games in the Premier League. So teams just don't score against them. And then you go away from home to their place, where quite frankly, all season, everybody was telling you that's going to be your toughest game. And then they don't even, they were in with a shout. They had their chances, but you go there and you beat them 2-0. That's a statement win right there, man. That's a statement win right there. So let's talk about the player ratings now. Let's get back to the player ratings. So Ben White, look, he got rolled a couple of times by Isak. I mean, Isak's been dominating defenders in the league over the last few months. And Ben White hasn't been playing his best football. He's one of those guys who, just went off the boil, like Zinchenko, like Xhaka. He's one of the players there that was just gone off the ball. And although Xhaka, I thought, played well last week, Xhaka was tremendous today. But Ben White really, really stepped himself up. And look, I'm going to give him a 7.5 for today. Kiwior, guys. Wow, guys. Kiwior, man. Let's keep testing this guy. I think that's the consensus among Arsenal fans right now. Let's keep on throwing this guy into the fire and see what he can do, because he's been impressive. He was impressive against Chelsea. He hadn't put a foot wrong today, and only if Arteta had opted to include him a month earlier, what would that have done to our results? What would that have done in our running in those awful 4-game stretches where we just didn't win a game? Nobody knows, but hindsight is a beautiful thing, isn't it? Fantastic. He gets an 8 today, well deserved. And one of the few times, this happened last week as well, I was talking to you guys about that, where he outperformed Gabriel. And he's done it again today. Gabriel, very rare occasion for him to be outshone by his partner since Saliba's out of the team. I didn't think he had the worst games today, but he wasn't as overly busy as Kiwior. It looked like they targeted Kiwior and everything was going down that left-hand side for them. But yeah, Gabriel, again, wasn't his best game today. I thought he lost his tracker a few times, but Kiwior was definitely the best centre-back today. Zinchenko, man, he was out of position. I think he overloaded the play on 2 or 3 occasions. I did talk about this in the pregame. I said all of Newcastle's danger this season has come from Trippier. That right-hand side has been their go-to play. And Trippier has been their main man. He leads the team in assists. He leads the team in chances created. So Zinchenko was going to be up for it today. He was going to be attacked and targeted. And he was hooked after the hour, after erratic display. So I'm going to give him a 5. And that's only because we won. If we lost today, he'd have been looking at a 3. He wasn't good. And everybody knows how much I love Zinchenko for this team. Moving on to the midfield, Jorginho was elite today, man. He gets a 9. And Tony had already put the numbers out, so I don't even have to talk about his display because he was first in the team in 6 categories. It just an absolute dominant display from him. Never, I did say this before, I was going to save it, but I had to say it before. Every time he's put an Arsenal shirt on, he's performed. There's not one game where he's come in and he's stunk up the joint. Not one. Lowest grade I've given him this season is 6.5. He is just absolutely fantastic. I'm so glad we've signed him for next season because you're going to need him in the Champions League, man. I know when it comes to the muscle and the brawn and Partey, I still say Partey's been the best player in the team this season. Overall, he'll probably win my player of the year. He'll probably win it. But moving forward, man, you got to work out this double pivot. I told Tony, I told Bertram, I told Gary before, double pivot is coming. Arteta's got to find a way for this to work. And maybe that means you do something with Xhaka in that 8 role, but this double pivot has to happen because you have to find a way for these 2 elite players to play alongside each other. I can't not have this happen next year. If you get that right, Arteta, yeah, then you can step up to Man City and challenge them properly in a system that works. Because every top team in the league works with that system. You're the only manager who's playing that single pivot because of how good Thomas Partey is. But you're over-reliant on Thomas Partey. You have an option in front of you to use where you can use a tentative system that works, that can control the tempo of games. You don't. If you've got Jorginho controlling the tempo. You don't need Zinchenko coming up, getting exposed from the left back position. You don't need it because you've already got a guy in Jorginho who can do it. So you that lack of liability that you have at the back, that can be nullified. You got some work to do, Arteta, this summer. You got some work to do, but credit to Jorginho for that man of the match display, man. Xhaka, really, really good game. A warrior's performance, a mammoth performance from Xhaka today. He's been horrible for the last few weeks. Let's face it. Yeah, he hasn't had a few good months. Last week I thought he played really well. Before that, a run of 5 or 6 games where he just hadn't turned up and just had to keep asking whether he was on the field. Today we played Stoke 2.0. We played a very physical team. Xhaka did a Flamini. He rolled up his sleeves, patted these guys on the back. He nearly got sucked in. Remember against Liverpool when he got sucked in? It nearly happened today. Yeah, but credit to Xhaka. He made 2 or 3 huge defensive interventions today, which probably helped the team get over the line. So credit to Granit Xhaka for that. Martin Odegaard, wow, look, for the first 45 minutes, guys, I'm not going to lie, I thought it was Kevin De Bruyne out there playing for Arsenal. I thought it was KDB playing for Arsenal in the first 45 minutes. Nothing short of majestic. And you guys know he's my favorite Arsenal player. I'm going to keep bashing your heads against the wall about that because I've been talking about this guy for 18 months and how good he is. And only now Arsenal fans are really starting to see the gravy. Today, he tied an Arsenal record of 15 goals from a midfielder, tying Cesc Fabregas. And this is just the start of what he can give you guys. Absolute majestic performance from him today and just relentless. Yeah? I used to see David Beckham put on the England shirt and run with abandon. Yeah? Just 110% commitment, just hell for leather, carrying the team on his back. This is what this guy's doing for Arsenal. He's doing it for Arsenal. He's the captain. He's your captain, guys. Yeah? This is why I wanted him to be captain in the first place. Because this guy's got these performances on him. And this is just the beginning. He ain't KDB. He's 24 years old. He's just getting started. This guy is going to be the best creative player in the league for many years to come. Absolute sublime performance from him. It doesn't improve from here, unfortunately, guys. Saka gets a 5 from me. Through no fault of his own, I thought he was targeted by Newcastle. They kicked 7 bells of shits out of him today, and he wasn't protected. And it's unfortunate because he's getting no protection. I think, in his fairness, he's getting no protection from the referees. To be manhandled like that and not even have a yellow card against you is something has to be done about this. FA's got to look at this. They got to look at what these officiators doing because it's not today. It's been happening all season. And Saka was bullied today. Didn't have a good game. Martinelli fared a little bit better today. He was very bright on the ball. He just took the game to the Newcastle defence, and he had a major role in that own goal that Schur scored. That was all Martinelli. So I think he done decent today. I'm going to give him a 7. Jesus, I'm going to give him a 6. It seems what's happening with Jesus is all instinct, and there's no real control. There's no real, what is the conversation between him and the manager with his displays? Because I'm starting to look, guys. This isn't Alexis Sanchez. Sanchez had no context, no strategy, no underlining method to the way he played. He was just like the Tasmanian devil. Alexis Sanchez was just whizzing around on the pitch and just whatever worked and whatever didn't work. This is different because Jesus is playing within the system. He's playing under orders. He's playing with him within a tactical system. I just want to know what that conversation is that he's having with him and the boss. And because I don't know, I can't really put my finger on it, because there's times where he just looks unplayable. And there's times where he's in positions where I'm thinking, bro, aren't you supposed to be 60 yards up the field? Like, what happens if you're playing left back? What happens if we break? Who's up top? Who's holding the ball? Who's going to be in the link play? Yeah, who's going to be that guy? There's a reason why they call the number 9 role the anchor role. Yeah, that's the anchor role. You can't anchor the line when you're in the left back position. So look, I don't know what's going on there. I'm not going to spend too much time wasting any airtime to it, because Arteta has to sort this out. I don't know whether it's by design. I don't know whether Jesus is going off camera, whether he's going off key, I don't know. So look, it needs to stop, because I think it's starting to his game sliding because of it. Yeah. Arteta, man, you walked in here, nobody gave you a hope of winning, man, and you bust it. So I'm going to give you a 10. I'm going to give you a 10. La African Guna, because you were late to the party, I just want to get your thoughts about the game, and you can go straight into your player ratings because you've just turned up.
Cool. What a game. I mean, the first 10 minutes, I was really nervous, hit the post. In the first minute, I don't know what's going on. We seem to have a lack of concentration in the first minute, because if they score that, that's like the third time in the past 5 or 6 games that a team scores in the first minute. But I think that's the most fight I've seen Arsenal this season. That was like a really dog-eat performance. One of those performances we talk about against Stoke. That's what it really reminded me of. And I think this referee needs to be fired, honestly, in my opinion. I think he contributed a lot to the way the game panned out. He had zero control of the game. He was encouraging kind of, leg-breaking tackles. He had zero control of the game. I mean, how Bruno Guimaraes doesn't get a yellow card, how some of their players just elbowed, some of our players.
Joe
It was really, really bad. It was really bad, I think. That was one of the worst refereeing performances I've seen. And I think it really contributed to it being a dogfight. But I think Arsenal were amazing today. It's just unfortunate we couldn't play like this against City, because if I think about it, if we play like this against City, I don't lose 4-1. And I think something else that's quite unfortunate is the fact that Arteta didn't realize to take Rob Holding out of the team earlier. And I said this a few weeks ago, right? And I mean, we're seeing it the way Kiwior played today. He was just way more athletic. His passing, his just everything is just much better than Rob Holding. So I see us going on every single game from here, and I just pray that Chelsea somehow pull it out the bag, because they need to lose one and need to draw one. So for me, maybe they can draw against Brighton, and then lose against Chelsea. That's the only way I see it.
I don't mean to cut you, but the conversation you and Bertram missed before you came online was, I think that the path to winning the title is that City are going to lose to Brighton and Brentford away from home, those games, 2 last games of the season. That's around the Champions League semi-final, I believe.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I'm just proud that we're going to take it all the way to the end. It seems like it, but there's also a part of me that's a bit, it hurts, right? Because if we didn't drop those points in those games, if Arteta made some of these decisions a bit earlier, played Kiwior, made the substitutions when it's quite obvious, we can still see, I mean, even with your rating, right? Saka still, he needs a rest. He just doesn't seem
Sorry,
like
guys.
Yeah, go for it.
Arteta's coming on if you want to listen in.
Yeah, let's listen to the boss first, guys.
What do you feel about your team watching that today? Right. I think they showed what it takes to come here in this environment against a great team, what it takes to win, and the desire to keep digging, keep believing that the reward is so big. And today we had to do it here, and we did everything that we had to do to win again.
And was that especially important because of what happened last year, because your team's character had been questioned?
It is, but that's why in sports in general, it gives you another opportunity, and you have the privilege to have another opportunity. You have to take it, but to tell you have to learn from those moments, and you really have to see yourself how you felt in that moment to overcome it and act in a different way, and the team did that really well today.
We heard from Aaron Ramsdale earlier. He gave a few secrets away about the pre-match. He showed a video. Was that really just to remind the players what had happened here, the pain of the occasion here?
You have to go through the pain, and you have to see yourself how you felt the emotion in the moment. You cannot forget that. In sport, if you want to become better, you have to recognize that in any moment you can have that feeling, and it's a horrible feeling. You don't want to have it again. So you have to make your most, and then you might lose because it's a sport, but it had to be different today.
So tell us about the game plan and how important Jorginho was to that as well.
He was exceptional. I think he was man of the match. There were question marks because it was going to be really physical. But you want to go physicality against physicality, I think we don't have no chance to win the game. So we have to try for something different. I think he understood the game really well. He's a really intelligent player. He gives a lot of security to the team. And he dominated the game in many moments.
But still, how uncomfortable were the first few minutes, which you knew was going to be tough?
Yeah, it was better than more intense and not as good as I wanted. But we have to keep going. We knew that we were going to have moments. I don't know if it was in the first minute or before halftime or at the end. You know, this crowd, this team has the ability to create those moments. And you have to go through them. If not, you don't win here for sure.
How important was it to get the goal, just to settle your team down?
Yeah, I think that gave a lot of composure to the team and belief and obviously put the game in a different perspective. They have to hurry up. They have to make decisions. They could not play the game that they want to play, and that helped us a lot.
We spoke to you before the game about Ramsdale, and it'd be remiss of me not to mention him after the game because he had some brilliant saves in the game as well. He's been doing that all season, so you must be, again, extremely happy with his performance.
Yeah, we knew that we were going to need him, and he had 2 or 3 great saves in key moments when we needed him, and that's what you need. Individual performance has to be at their best if you want to win.
I said to David, if you want a team that's going to win the league, you need a goalkeeper that makes saves, I guess. And
that gives you points. He has experience of that.
For sure.
But do you proud of your players today, especially about your defenders? Because for me, you know, they were magnificent. They were very strong, you know, very compact. So how you feel when you see them to play like this?
Absolutely. Like they die for every single ball. Some of the blocks, some of the defensive actions, the way we defended the box in many moments, it was very different to the last few away games that we conceded very sloppy goals. And we needed that, so I am very proud of them.
Whatever happens from here, Mikel, is this just a reminder to everyone about how far your team has come in 12 months' time?
We live the day, and today we've shown that we are capable of doing. Now we have to go. We have to play Brighton at home, which is going to be really tricky again, and do that. And that's the beauty of this league, and it's never enough because the standards are so high that you have to ask yourself better all the time.
But this is some statement, isn't it? If you're Manchester City watching this.
I don't know. We're going to keep believing and digging, and that's all we can do now.
Keep on digging, and I will as well. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mikel.
Yes, thank you.
Wow.
My power might go out in a few minutes, so I'm going to go through my ratings quickly. I guess just on that, my main point is I agree. There was so much fight today. It was brilliant to see. I haven't seen us fight like that before. I don't understand why we couldn't do that against Man City, because that was the game to play like we did today. That's the only frustrating thing for me, is because we have it in ourselves, and that game we didn't compete at all. And today, I mean, we really competed. But just to go through the ratings, Ramsdale, I'm going to give it 8.5 as well. Absolutely incredible. Some of the saves that he made, I mean, there was even one that he pushed around the post for a corner. I think that goes post in, potentially. We did get lucky sometimes. They hit the post twice, but he really saved us. And I think a lot of people forget how important he is to us. I mean, I've heard people on Twitter Spaces saying that we should sell him because he's not good enough for the Champions League. And I know it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And he's so young. He's only going to get better. And I'm really excited to see him. I think he's been great. I think Ben White, solid 7.5, back to his best. And I think that also what contributes to that is the fact that Kiwior is playing. I think he has to do less covering. When Holding is playing, I think he has to do way more defensive work, and he can't go up as much because he's always worried that he has to cover. So he was great today. I agree, Kiwior as well. Solid 8. Should have been playing, 5 games ago. I said it, but it's in the past now. Just moving forward, he needs to play every single game. I think Gabriel, I would give a 7. He was super solid. Zinchenko, I'm gonna give a 4. I think he was defensively, I'm seeing his frailties. You know, I mean, yeah, he slipped, but I mean, he's just not aware. Defensively, he's just not doing enough for me, and I think maybe Tierney needs to come in, play against Brighton in our next game. Jorginho, a solid 9. You know, he didn't do anything like extraordinary for me, but the thing is, there's nothing bad to say about him. He just played it within himself, right? I mean,
did you see Tony's sheet with the stats?
No, I haven't.
Tony, do you want to put that up so that he can have a look? I'll get rid of the banner.
Oh,
so
yeah,
that
yeah.
He can see.
Yeah, I've seen this.
Yeah. Oh, you've seen that? Yeah, because it's just because you said you wasn't sure what he actually did, so that's why.
No. So my point is that he didn't do anything that was like, you know, he didn't do like a nutmeg or a crazy. He did everything simple but extravagantly well, right? And that's what's really impressive about it. I think he was great as we saw, man of the match. So 9. Xhaka, Mr. Xhaka. Look, I don't agree with you because I think there was points in the first half, at the end of the first half, where he was getting into it way too much, and I was like, dude, this is not the time. You know, keep your head, just don't get involved. The block he made on Willock, that was amazing. That was incredible because I think that goes in. And
that's why he has that score. And that's why he has that score.
No, I give it to him.
The game,
I give
the
it to
game's
him.
1-1 and we don't.
I'm just saying, he still has that in him where he wants to fight and cause drama. Just stay out of it. We didn't have to get into it. You know, not just him, but the rest of the team as well. I was kind of disappointed at the end of the first half because we had them.
Dude,
you know,
you can't have a team of softies. You can't.
We're not saying to be softies. We're just saying to keep your head. Don't do anything.
Yeah,
silly.
but
that's all I'm saying.
Somebody needs to be the dog. Somebody needs to be the alpha in a group of dogs.
Just don't let it be him because he doesn't have a good reputation with referees. Let someone else do it. Let someone else do it.
Look, I agree with both of you. You're both right. You're both right.
Picking? Who are you picking?
You're both right.
No, I hear you.
Man, tell us who you're picking. Who's your alpha dog?
I'm
you're
still
both right.
scarred
Listen,
by this guy,
right.
you know.
You're both right. Listen,
I hear your point.
Just look at the Liverpool game.
Can we let him finish his ratings, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's look at the Liverpool game and see what happened there.
Odegaard, I'm going to give 8.5 as well. I think Apollo's right. I mean, wow, what a player! What a player! You know, he's starting to shoot way more, which I'm really, really enjoying. It's like he's realized now after scoring. You know, he's got a taste of scoring, and now he realizes that he can shoot himself and score. I mean, people say he doesn't show up in big games. He's been showing up in big games. I think he could have been better on that second shot where he should have gone right instead of left, but it was on his weaker foot. So, hey, you know, that's going to come over time, but I'm really into him shooting. He needs to keep it up.
That's an interesting statistic there. Can you see it? The away game statistics. 13 GAs. Oh, Irfan's frozen. So just to reinforce the point about the importance of Odegaard, I pulled up a statistic there showing that Martin Odegaard has scored 9 goals and 3 assists away from home, which is the 3rd highest, only by 1 to Erling Haaland and Harry Kane in away games.
Wow. And Bertram, you see that? Tony, put that list back up again. Bertram, you see who's 4th on that list? Arsenal striker next season.
I can't see because it's blocked by the ratings. I can't see that.
Oh, hold on.
The ratings are off.
The ratings are off.
Well, for me, it's not. Something's wrong with my system here. It's messing up.
All right, hold on. Bertrand, can you see it now?
No, I have to come out and come back in. Something's wrong with my system.
No, it's all right. No, don't worry, because he's going to take it off anyway. He's going to take it off now. Okay. All right, yeah, go on, Tony.
So, yeah, and this was that sweet volley from the man. But let's move on. Irfan, unfortunately, looks like we've lost him.
Yeah,
he will hopefully come back in very shortly.
Yeah.
But in the meantime,
if you got your if you got your ratings ready, Tony.
Yeah, I'm good to go. So I will go through some of these stats and some of these comments that I've seen on the Ethernet. You know, obviously, just to counter what the African Guna was saying about Xhaka, there are other people that appreciate what he does. You know, and obviously this user on Twitter says Xhaka was amazing today, on the edge, but kept his cool and played some brilliant stuff. That challenge running back in our box was unreal, and that's 100. In fact, they just showed it. They just showed it on the replay.
So can I jump in for a second? Two things.
Yeah.
One is that wasn't the only thing in the box he did, by the way. You guys missed the first half. I think Murphy got around Zinchenko, and he came in and cut the ball off from being dangerous. That wasn't the first time he's done that, actually. He saved us today 2 almost sure goals. In fact, the Willock one probably would have hit the back of the net. And the fact of the matter, I thought Xhaka played better than Jorginho. So this is what Tony's stats didn't show. You got to be very careful with stats. Here they didn't show how he recovered, how he turned, how he clicked on picking up. That's not in the stats. And I watched him a couple of times in the first half. He was late. In fact, in the first play of the game when they got to the goal, he was late. So when he gets the ball, as we see at Chelsea, actually, it's brilliant. He's going to make the simple pass, get his feet quickly. Not going to do what Partey does, trying to probably lose it. That's not his game. He sees ahead, so he's making the pass before he gets the ball. Or he sees the play 2 steps ahead. But effectively, when he has to turn, when he's supposed on quickly, and the speed to get there, he doesn't have it. So I thought Xhaka today, who was going who played deeper than he normally does, by the way. He wasn't all the way in the box all the day today like he normally is. He played a little bit deeper. We played more safe. That's why we looked so good defensively. Because we weren't all gung-ho with 5 and 6 ahead. We were having maybe 4 ahead and not 5 and 6. So allow us to be in better shape when we lose the ball. But I don't know whose time it is to give ratings. I'll give my 2 cents afterward. And by the way, guys, let me say this. Because you gave Gabriel a 6.5. Kiwior has help on the right-hand side. Gabriel, until Tierney came on, has no help. So he's playing against 2 people over there. He and Xhaka, when you're supposed to have 4 defenders, Martinelli, Xhaka, Zinchenko, and Gabriel, you only have 3 because Zinchenko is no man. When he gets the ball, he's brilliant, especially in the pocket. He makes the right decision most times, even though he's passing nowadays back into the destinations they should. When he doesn't have the ball, he's clueless. Like, he's as bad as Trent Alexander-Arnold defensively. But
Yeah,
Trent is brilliant. Trent can't defend.
Yeah, Bertram, I believe the point was made about Ben White's poor form and how that had been happening because Saliba hadn't been in the team. And as soon as Kiwior has an 8, lo and behold, Ben White's had these games. So you're right, but the context has also been put into place with other players around the team as well. So it's all about that balance, isn't it? It's all about the shape.
Yeah.
It's all about the balance. But my biggest issue, which you've talked about, I've talked about, and Tony's talked about, Gary to an extent, is why do you have more control in your shape and your system when you're away from home, and when you're in front of your fans at home, you're more you play like you're liberated, like it's hell for leather, it's free flowing, it's overly excessive in attack. There has to be some compromise somewhere, and I think these are the things that we talk about with a guy who's been a manager for 2.5 years, and he's going to have to, and I mentioned this many times, he's going to have to look at his own performance as well as his players and analyze what can I do to be better. It's something that most of us leaders and managers do in our line of work, and he's going to have to take that look among himself tactically to see where he can improve in terms of the team sheets and who starts and why, and then the rotational side, which is his biggest weakness.
You cannot afford Zinchenko against the really good teams. Let me say that again. You cannot afford Zinchenko against the really good teams. So when you play somebody as competitive as you are, same capabilities, you have to be much more balanced in your approach. When you play Zinchenko in the back, normally he plays deep inside. We understand he's playing with 3 defenders versus 4 because he cannot defend. So if I'm as good as you are at a disadvantage when you're being attacked. He cannot defend. He's not even close. Murphy was going around like he wasn't playing. Trent went around like he wasn't playing. He cannot defend. He's nowhere close to his marker. He doesn't put a foot in. How many times have you seen him put a tackle in when a one-on-one defender, like you see Ben White may do sometimes? He doesn't. I'm not sure why you play him against the cities of the world or in the Newcastle of the world, because to me, he cannot defend. and you cannot afford someone who's a liability defensively, it's better. I thought Hull had it wrong today. I don't think he should have played 2 forwards because they weren't balanced playing 2 forwards. Because if they had played that man on the left and played Isak inside, they have 2 very skillful players to run at us. They only had one when Isak was doing it. Murphy to Santa on the right. They were missing that dynamics in their team. Or if you isolate Saxman, we have to double him. Somebody has to be open. I thought he got it wrong today.
Yeah, I agree. Tony, go on. You got the conch, mate. Carry on. All right. Do you want Bertram to go first? No, actually, no.
Tony looks like he's busy.
No, I think Tony was already. He had already started his player ratings.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I'm good to go. I was good. I was just searching for more little stats and stuff. So I've got a few more. Take that off there so you can see. If you can't see what it says only the goalkeepers have kept.
Yeah,
only three goalkeepers.
Yeah.
Three.
Only 3 goalkeepers have kept 10+ clean sheets away from home in a single Premier League season.
And that's the point I was making for the whole stream, Tony, is that what he's achieved here is phenomenal. It has not a lot of, some of the best names in the history of the game have not achieved what Ramsdale has achieved this season.
Yeah. Also, the first team in Premier League history to keep 30 clean sheets against a specific opponent.
Yeah, Newcastle didn't score a single goal against Arsenal this season. How's that one, Bertram? I know you're a big Bertram. I know you like watching Newcastle play football. You know,
I watch them a lot. I thought they were disappointing
I know you
today.
do, bro. I know you do.
They were disappointing because I watch Willock a lot. They were disappointing today. I must admit.
Yeah, that's a great stat there, Tony. As well as the one that we talked about with the 2 players scoring 15 Premier League goals in a season. Only ever been done once with Fabregas and Van Persie. Once, guys.
You could have 3 if Saka starts scoring again.
Yeah, it's true. Could by the end of the season.
He scored last goal against Southampton, but I think he scored 1 in his last 6 or 7 games. He hasn't been scoring of late.
Okay, so we kept our first clean sheet since March, so that's been well overdue. And obviously, it kind of tells you there's a lot of praise going around the web for Kiwior. There's a lot of praise.
So I'm gonna say this, guys. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, I'm probably going to preempt what you're going to say because I don't think Kiwior was ready. The last time we saw Kiwior in an extended play before the previous game, which was Chelsea, he did not look great.
But he hadn't played since the World Cup. He hadn't played the football since the World Cup. They talked about this.
He played in some cup game, and quite frankly, did not look great for us.
Obviously when we bought him before that, he hadn't played in such a long time.
But
the answer to that is play the guy regardless. I mean, that's what he didn't do.
But the thing was, it's easy to just say play him regardless. You didn't know him. I honestly don't. I challenge any Arsenal fan to say, "Oh, I was looking at Kiwior for months, years before he came." Because don't forget, he came from which club? Spezia. Exactly. Ask yourself the question: who the hell watches Spezia? Nobody.
Yeah, but we don't.
Tony,
we don't ask them questions because we trust Edu and Arteta to do this.
Tony Apollo.
I get that.
Tony Apollo.
Hang on. Let me finish. Let me land. So what I'm saying is, I expect he's impressed those players to the point that they've gone, yeah, let's give him a chance. Yeah. However, he needs to acclimatize because playing in a bush league like Italy and coming into the Prem against your Haalands and your Kanes and so on and so forth is different. And therefore, I'm not surprised that they've given him a bit of time to acclimatize. Yeah, they put him in at the deep end and he didn't succeed. He didn't come out and have everyone going like, oh my God, he's so good. However, what they did was they took him back. They said, okay, we let you into the water, But let me pull you back a bit. Have a little more experience.
So you can see how deep this pond really is.
Yes. And now he's coming and we're like, okay, yeah, he looks apt. Now I'm not going to go overboard and say, oh, he was the answer to all our prayers. Had we played him in the last few games when Holding was playing, we would have won the league. I'm not going to go that far, but I am saying he looks apt.
Yeah.
So can I say 2 words? So Kiwior played all 4 games of Poland at the World Cup. And he didn't look out of place. And Lewandowski was singing his praises, by the way.
Okay.
Which suggests somebody who's a rated footballer and should know defenders and play games in practice had a good perspective on him and his capabilities. I would say when he played in the UEFA, when he played in Europe, when he played for us, he didn't look that good.
Yes.
He didn't look good. He looked out of place.
Exactly.
He looked like he had 2 left. Even though they say he's a left back and can play, I was like, he doesn't seem athletic enough to play left back, frankly.
Yeah.
So I'd agree. He didn't look that good. But I would say this though, guys, even though I'm not a Holding fan, let me put that on because I know people are. I'm trying to remember when Holding gave up a game in the stints that he played. Because we're using stats, and I think stats are overrated. Sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. I can't, most of the goals I see we give up, Holding wasn't involved in them. It was Zinchenko.
Yeah, but I've been saying that.
But I'm just saying, but what Holding doesn't do, Apollo, which is telling me what stats important, he can't play the ball out.
Yeah, I know.
See what I'm saying? His coverage sometimes. So that's where the stats come in with Jorginho today, I'm trying to tell you, which is what the stats don't show you sometimes is what's missing from your game.
Yeah.
And that's why Holding didn't do anything wrong in terms of giving away a goal, making a mistake, but his lack of speed to cover sometimes, to close down the gap, his ability to play the ball off is not there.
And also, as a Holding fan, I must say, and I always wear my heart on my sleeve. When I get it wrong, I get it wrong. Normally I'm right, but when I get it wrong, I get it wrong. But with Holding, Holding has led this team. There is nobody on the team better than him in clearances. He sweeps the floor with it. But Jules,
that's a problem. That's a problem. Here's what's a problem. Did you guys notice today, Apollo and Tony? We gotta really watch this game on the side, you know. When we win the ball, we have been taught not to clear the ball. Let me repeat. Go back and watch the tape today. I see Jorginho do this a lot. But something gets us in trouble. When you're under pressure, what we've been taught is remain calm when you win it, slow it down and play it out. So then the other teams attacking you, they're vulnerable.
That's right, yeah.
So when someone says something a lot of clearance, I'm thinking, did they clear it or did they play it out to their teammate to start the play? Very important. So clearance may be overrated in today's football, given how the football is being played. So clearance just means I kick it away to get it out of my area, then I'm turning back over to the other team. I think we took a lot of risks today. I saw Saka do it. I saw almost everybody in the team do it. So I'm thinking it's a strategy we employ, which is you win it, and you're under pressure, you will just play softly someone else and start the play.
Yeah,
don't just kick it away and then it'll come back to you. Yeah.
No, I agree.
Yeah, sorry. I was just, before I go back to Tony, I was finishing off the point that I made. So he's a top in the team in clearances, but he's among the bottom in duels. And one of the things we've seen in regards to the strengths of Gabriel is he was number 1 in duels in that French league when we bought him. Kiwior was number 2 in his league in duels. So you kind of see where Edu and Arteta are looking at in terms of the style of play, how physical the Premier League is, and the type of defenders that they want. And Kiwior is a guy that, when you look at the strengths, it's the duels, it's the positioning. But yeah, I mean, the league doesn't look too big for him now, does it? So, Tony, over to you, man.
Just so you know, West Ham had just gone 1-0 up.
Already?
Manchester United, yeah. They just
Man
scored.
United, boy.
We're not really worried about those teams anymore. We have made Champions League. We're second place. We're not really worried. We don't mind Man U losing or Spurs losing, frankly. It's a good thing. But we're not worried about them anyway in terms of positioning. So.
Man United, social media FC. Go on, Tony.
There's another little one for you. Not many people will know that. But we have profited from 4 own goals all season.
So you're pressuring people; they make mistakes.
So these are the stats that I like to look at sometimes, which give sort of overall statistics on the way the team plays. If I could just take that ticker off, then I can see the bottom. Come on. Oh, what have I done?
Odegaard was just phenomenal, man. I tell you, this guy in the future, guys. I'm telling you, I told you a year ago, and I'm telling you again now. The sky's the limit for this guy, man.
He missed a sitter today, though. The one on his right foot, that he didn't chip the ball. That was a baby goal.
It was on target, but he needed to lift it.
Yeah. It was a bad miss.
Guys, you seen what Ozil did and labeled the best number 10 in the world? You see what De Bruyne did? He's labeled the best number 10 in the world in today's game. Odegaard is the future of the position, man. I don't see anyone in the world doing what he's doing right now. And it's just a blessing, man. He really is. I think people, sorry, Tony, I think people sort of downplay the energy he brings this team when we're not doing what we're doing, when we're in those positions where we need. You talked about Xhaka and rolling your sleeves up. This guy grabs the team by the scruff of the neck and the team just goes bang. And it's all on this guy's shoulders, man.
So I have a question. Who does these ratings?
So these come from who scored.
Oh, okay.
So don't worry about the ratings. Forget the ratings.
I am.
Yeah, because the ratings are using an algorithm.
Yeah, I figure as much.
Yeah, so don't worry about the ratings. I don't use the ratings, but what I do is I can look at things like the pass accuracy, and you can see who's passing accurately. You can see who's winning aerial duels. You know, I find it interesting looking at who touches the ball the most. You know, obviously Jorginho at 70, and then the next player is 50, which is Zinchenko, and everybody else is 40 something.
Bertram, I can tell you now, you might not already know this. Yeah, Bertram, you might not already know this, but this data analyst is used by every Premier League analytic in this country, and it's the most accurate and respected numbers in terms of performance indicators, and that's why it's out there. That's why people use it.
Yeah, but I'm saying this is all stats based, right?
Yes, and what do you think?
So if somebody gets behind you, or you didn't mark your man right, how does that pick that up?
Yeah, no,
Bertram. Bertram, I'm talking to you as a businessman, because I know what you're like in the business world as well. Everyone uses KPIs to identify everything. So I know some people like to undertalk stats, but they are there for a reason.
Look, Apollo, I use stats all the time in my job.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's quantitative and qualitative factors.
Yeah.
The qualitative factors are not captured in the stats. The qualitative factors are, and you got to think about the qualitative, how it informs the quantitative and give the overall picture.
Yeah, and that's
and
why
I don't see the qualitative in here. So for example, if someone can't run, they don't track their man really well, doesn't show up.
Yeah,
the tackles show up.
The
tackles show up. So
yeah, no, I get that.
Because it has Zinchenko with a higher rating than Ben White. I mean, like, in which world?
Yeah, I do want to mention though, I have been in meeting rooms with Amazon where we've talked about that, and they have things like sprints, tracking, the kilometers run, for all of those things that you've talked about. So it is actually identified in the classroom for the things that you've talked about. Yeah, carry on, Tony.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, we have the same system, algorithm-based ratings for boxing, and it just doesn't work, because boxers who box more have got higher ratings globally than boxers who are actually legitimately world-class. So if you box and you do 20 10-rounders, a guy who's knocked out his opponent 10 times out of 10 might have a lesser rating than you, because you've got 10 more fights in you.
So they got to change the algorithm, Tony. They need to revisit how they quantify. Yeah,
it's very bad. And
it's the factors they use. They got to change the factors.
But overall, I mean, look, it's there for you to sort of see some things and take advantage of some of the information it can give you. Obviously, Jorginho gets very high marks, but he doesn't have as many shots as people as other players on the pitch. You know, you look at Martin Odegaard, 3 shots on target, 2 key passes, you know, 75% accuracy, ball accuracy. Obviously, he's trying harder to make those defense splitting passes, you know, which Jorginho isn't making. You know?
Exactly.
You know,
or Ramsdale having 44% accuracy. That makes no sense given what goalkeepers do. That's
I mean, you could take away Jorginho's assist because he doesn't do anything. It was a sideways 5-yard pass. Everything that made that goal was Odegaard. So, you know, but we know in the world of goals and assists that, you know, look, you get an assist for a corner.
All right, Tony, I'm gonna have to hurry you up because I've got the Miami Grand Prix starting soon. So
okay.
Yep.
So overall, my grades are gonna be Ramsdale 8.5, White 7.5, Kiwior 8. I'm gonna give Gabriel 7.5, Zinchenko 5, Jorginho 9. Is that 9? Is that fair?
Yeah, 9. Yeah.
Because I kind of think my grading gives Jorginho and Odegaard the same.
Yeah. I had Odegaard at a 9, and I had to peg him down. So really, Odegaard is a 9 on here in terms of my overall feeling. But
I feel that Odegaard's contribution in the game was such.
Yeah.
You know, he was a threat. He was a, you know.
The only reason why I pegged Odegaard back is because Jorginho could be man of the match, which is what I made him.
I looked at some passes that Odegaard put in the game and some of his touch, and I'm like, wow, phenomenal.
Yeah,
you know,
so good, mate.
So I'm gonna give Jorginho a 9, but I'm also gonna match that with Odegaard. Granit Xhaka, you know, I've said my piece on him. You know, he is the alpha dog in the team. Sorry, but the team need an alpha dog. Now, can we get a better alpha dog? Yes, we can. But for the time being, I don't think there's another alpha dog in the team.
You don't think Gabriel is an alpha dog? How dare you?
I actually
Gabriel
don't.
fans ain't gonna like that, you know.
I actually don't think he's an alpha dog. I seriously don't think he's an alpha dog. I don't think he goes in at the battle face and carries the team like that. I seriously don't.
He's been accused of being rash, which he's worked on really hard this season.
A guy can be hard.
I have a question.
Yeah.
How do we define alpha dog?
So for me, the alpha dog is the guy that, you know, that dominates the verbiage in the team, the physicality in the team. You know, you need someone to do the dirty work sometimes. You know when you need someone to like a reducer. If you know that phrase or that terminology, a reducer, someone who's going to do something that's going to take a player out of his stride. That's your Granit Xhaka.
So I think there are 2 players who fit that mold. It's Gabriel and Xhaka. The only difference is that Gabriel doesn't talk. His actions, he set the tone. He's physical, he's rough, he pushes on people, but he doesn't really verbalize things. I'm not sure if there's a language barrier, but watch how he plays the game.
Okay.
He's the one putting on the forwards when referee doesn't see it. He puts a foot in. He's very, very physical. Xhaka is very expressive, both verbally and physically. Yeah. And today was needed because Newcastle were just kicking us all over the place. So they're physically stronger. You needed people to put it on them. The interesting thing was their forward wasn't being physical. So Isak and Wilson weren't being physical. So you didn't really see them from our defense. But they were kicking Saka and Martinelli and Jesus all over the place.
Yeah,
their defenders were
we talked about it during the commentary. Joe Linton was just...
Yeah, Linton too. Joe Linton was being physical.
He knows how to use his elbows. I'm sorry. He's a very... You know, we call that the dark arts in boxing. You know, we call it the dark arts. He's an expert because he can do stuff. Anyway, let me move on. So Xhaka gets an 8. Saka gets a 5. I agree with that. Martinelli, Yeah, I'll give him a 7. And Gabriel Jesus a 6. I think that was fair. I do want to talk about Gabriel Jesus again, because I think I said this in the previous commentary that I'm seriously getting worried about the kid. And Bertram, you brought this to the table. He does too much of the stuff in his own half, trying to be clever and do stuff, when in fact you need to be just concentrating on winning the ball up high and keeping retention of the ball, as opposed to dropping deep beyond your own midfield and trying to be clever around the box. There was an occasion where we lost the ball and it led to a corner, and it could have been worse. But that guy, for me, is upsetting me a little bit. And obviously, when we think that, Trossard's record is phenomenal since he joined us, and the fact that we had a very fluid attacking system with Odegaard, with Trossard, Martinelli, and Saka, and now Jesus has come back in the mix. Have things got slightly worse, guys? What do you say?
No, I don't think so. And even though I agree with you about him, I thought today some of that was needed because we were under pressure at some point. So what he did really well today, I gave him a high grade and you guys gave him was, he was sprinting 40 yards to close down the left and right back so they don't get the pass in, which is what they do really well. Not jogging, sprinting. I was tracking during the game. I'm like, you know what? You're going to go to the same way you normally play. You go deep. You're going to, because he wasn't in the middle of the park deep a lot today. He was springing out to the wings to close down.
Well, that's what they're told to do. It's by design. Nketiah does it as well, but you don't see Nketiah going into the penalty area.
But he's coming to his own penalty area. Jesus overdo it, actually. But I thought today he was better than
overdoes it.
Yeah, he overdoes it. He overdoes it. I agree. He overdoes it.
I think we can all agree in that. Tony, before you carry on, Andrew says, Xhaka's verbals can draw unnecessary attention. Cam says, alpha male Collins Dictionary, a man tending to assume a dominant or domineering role in social or professional situations. That's why I said he's not an alpha. Yeah, because
he's alpha. He's alpha. He's clearly alpha.
He's clearly dominant, my friend. He's so dominant.
He's dominant for both teams.
He doesn't have the temper. Exactly, Bertram. He's a liability, man. He's got no composure.
I get what you're saying.
He lacks the composure to be an alpha.
As I said, he's still an alpha dog.
Yeah, he's a dominant. I find that about temperament, I'm talking about temperament. It's how you operate.
And he doesn't have it.
He's dominant. He's domineering.
Yeah.
He's
domineering, but he doesn't have the. That's a good Collins Dictionary thing there. Thanks for that. But he's not composed and controlled in any situation. So I wouldn't. Yeah. If you lead him, he's going to lead you down a cliff.
I don't view alpha as being composed. I view alpha as being domineering, all encompassing. I don't view it as, somebody's really composed, and it may be controlling versus being in control. That's the way I view it. Maybe my perspective is different.
Cool.
Yeah, Tony, is that it, Tony?
I agree with you on I'll give him a 10, and that's me done. Thank you very much. That's all.
Excellent. Ebony, do you want to go? Because you've been waiting for a while, so we'll let you go.
Yeah, I've just been watching Chelsea versus Everton women's, and Chelsea are 5-0 up. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Are they still on target? Because Man United's top, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They've got games in hand, which if they win, they'll go top.
Yeah.
Oh, bloody hell, again.
All right. All right. Okay. Here's my ratings. Right. Ramsdale, imposing as always. There's a reason why he's my fiance, because he knows how to command his area. Those saves that he made, particularly the one where he was on the floor. And there was another one where there was a couple where he made saves with his feet. He's alert. He commands his box. He commands his area. He is a leader. He's my alpha dog because he knows how to control his area. I'm giving him a 9. Ben White, I'll give him. I don't think he had a bad game today. I thought he defended quite well, so I'm going to give him an 8. Kiwior, he is a reason why Rob Holding should be dropped. I know there's a load of Holding fans out there. He actually he was on point today, and he didn't miss a trick. So I'm going to give him an 8. Gabriel, I thought he was lackluster. I thought he was losing his head too much today for me. So I'm going to give him a 6. Zinchenko, the worst player. He can't defend. He's better going forward for me. And there's a reason why Tierney should have actually started today, because he was absolutely DS. I know you all know what DS means. So for me, he gets a 4. Jorginho, thought for about 10 minutes or 15 minutes in the first half, he was slow, sluggish. 18 is funny, you know. 18 is funny. You may have to talk to Ramsdale.
Oh God! You guys give me joke today, man. As sick as I am right now, I'm sitting here 100 degrees temperature. I feel like I'm gonna faint, and you guys still give me joke. Yeah, go on.
Jorginho, I thought he was lackadaisical in the first half for about 15 minutes, and then he came into the game and made some key passes. So I'm going to give him an 8. Xhaka, I don't know why. I don't know where he gets his alpha dog thing from, because he's not my alpha dog. I think Xhaka, I'm going to drop him down to a 7. He made some good interceptions. Yes, he made some good blockages. However, he needs to keep his head cool. He could have been sent off today. So he gets a 7. Odegaard, for me, he gets an 8.5. That goal that he scored, he could have actually scored. He could have actually got a second one in the second half. But Pope being their best player, he blocked that. So and he also made some key passes as well, and that's why he's an important player for us. He gets an 8.5. Xhaka, he missed a sitter today for me. He gets a 5. He was quiet, but he did enough to warrant a 5. Martinelli, he made some key runs down the flank. He gets a 7. Jesus, he will get his scoring boots back again. Don't worry about that. He's not the most prolific scorer as we thought he would be, but he gets a 6.
He's doing well. As I said to Tony, he had 5 in his last 5 before this game. Yeah, he's doing well.
Yeah, he's not doing too badly. I'll give him a 6. Arteta, I will give him a 9. The reason I'm not going to give him a 10 is because he didn't start Trossard, and he should have done. He should have dropped. He didn't start Tierney either, which he should have actually dropped well and truly before the second half started, as far as I'm concerned. I thought that he should have brought on. He should have taken off Saka as well, because Saka wasn't at the races, so to speak, as he normally is. But I'll give him a 9. His tactics were spot on today, and if you want to rate the ref, he gets a 0.
Yeah, they are 12 and they had 11.
Today's game was tough. Today's game was almost like a rugby tackle. And, this Stoke comparison, they were worse than Stoke today, as far as I'm concerned. Because, there was a point where they wanted to get all players behind into the box to have that parking the bus effect. But it didn't work, because they had to work hard to get the ball off of us and to run down, to our side of the pitch. But they lost. We won. I'm happy with the performance. Now on to Brighton, and I think we can win it. And I think Man City will drop points.
So Bertrand, before I come to you, Andrew says Ivan Toney had a boss game yesterday, although Brentford lost. Not sure what a fee. Cam says 70 million. I've heard 70, 75 million myself.
Let me say this, Apollo. Tony's link-up game is unreal. I don't think people have been watching him and realize he has some flicks and some layoffs, which are in stride, no breaking of stride. He made 2 yesterday where you're just like, wow, this has to be a 10 making these passes. Ridiculous.
And listen, I think people do realize, because when they played Arsenal and showed the long ball tactic, everybody started using it against us after that. Everton started using it against us. A lot of teams were having success playing the long ball against us because...
But see, that's mainly his hold of play. I'm talking about when he gets it and he'll back it to Mbomo. That's into that link up. He's exceptional link-up player. Very surprising, actually.
If we could only get him to play for Jamaica, Jesus Lord.
No, he already chose. He already got the cap for England. We tried to get him. He said no. He wants to play for England.
G says, Xhaka as an alpha is like the blind leading the blind. Andrew says he is an alternate to start or bring on. Yeah, possibly. Look, I'd bring him Tony in. Tony would be.
He probably would start, frankly.
How many goals would he score for Arsenal with the possession that we have?
He probably would start.
What, Ivan Toney?
Yeah.
Right,
Bertram, you got the conch, and then the guys will shut the...
My man of the match was Ramsdale, and that save on the head, I thought he was over the line. I was waiting to hear what was going to be said by the system to say the ball was over the line, because a brilliant save. The one with Willock was a great save. He was going right. He used his legs to save it. The one that came out where he went and tapped it, where it was Wilson was being played in. I thought there were 3 or 4 really good saves that saved us today. So I gave him a 9. I gave him man of the match. I gave Ben White a 7. I thought he had some interesting times during the game, but played well overall. Kiwior, I gave him a 7.5. Same score for Gabriel. I thought Gabriel played better than people say he did, actually. I don't think he did anything that was mistake-wise, and he was covering really well. And the fact that Wilson and Isak were silenced, basically, says a lot about it. And we kept a clean sheet, even though they got chances. I gave Zinchenko a 4. I struggle with Zinchenko. Brilliant in the pocket when he gets the ball. Make mistakes trying to make the pass, but trying to make dangerous passes. But his defending is woeful. I don't think people realize how bad he is defending. The first time Murphy was him stretching instead of going to the ball, rolled on his foot, and Murphy should have scored when he hit the upright. I gave Jorginho an 8. I think what he does really well, he's played with it himself, not taking any risk. And he's a more safer, sure hands, frankly, than Partey has been of late. I gave Odegaard an 8 for 2 reasons. One, he had Martinelli to play in. He didn't play him in. He dallied. Martinelli should have been in on goal, and he missed a sitter for me with his right foot when he just chipped over the keeper. So I can't give him a 9 or a 10 when 2 clear situations should have gotten better out of than it did materialize. I gave Saka a 5. Not much to say. He missed a good chance. And he really got kicked a lot today and really wasn't in the game. And I must say this, because people know I think I beat Saka a lot. Sometimes he needs to rest. That's all I'll say. Sometimes he needs to rest. I gave Martinelli a 7. I thought that own goal that resulted, the defender couldn't do much. And he does that in games, right? He will take the ball 70 yards. He did against Man U when he scored and they called it back incorrectly. And did another game where he had a chance, he almost scored and he missed. He's one of the only players we have who takes it 70 yards and create pressure on the defense. I gave Jesus a 7. I just thought his defensive work was exceptional. Even though, as Tony alluded to, I've talked about before, he needs to play like a 9 sometimes more than trying to play like a 6, or 8, and a 10 all in one. And I gave Arteta a 9 today, one of my high ratings for him, because I was very pleased, even though he was forced to, because he was so bad today versus other days, to take Zinchenko off with less than 60 minutes on the clock, because Zinchenko was so awful defensively. And though Murphy's a decent player, because I watch a lot of Newcastle, he's not Almiron or St. Maximin, who's going to run around you, and he was running around Zinchenko like he wasn't playing. Zinchenko has no awareness defensively. I don't know how you are number 8 for your country and a left back for City and Arsenal. You don't have any idea what you're doing defensively. Because even as an 8, you got to play some defense. He plays none.
Yeah, but then he was at Man City,
Zinchenko doesn't play him there, does he? Zinchenko. This is always this spat between him and Pep Guardiola. Shevchenko, sorry. Shevchenko doesn't play him there. He plays him way up the pitch. And that's why it was this stigma when he came to Arsenal. Like, where is he going to play? Because for Ukraine, he plays up the field in the midfield. He plays as a 10 mostly sometimes for Ukraine. And then he plays as a left back for Man City. And yeah, so that was always very confusing what was going on there. But look, we've talked about it. I think long time ago they should have moved him in Xhaka's position and then put Tierney back in there. I think the team would be more balanced. But let's have a look, because the double pivot is coming, guys. I warned you about this a couple of months ago. The double pivot is coming, and we will be a much more well-balanced, rounded team once it happens.
You need a more mobile 8, though, to play double pivot, right? You need a more mobile 8 than Xhaka, frankly. I mean, I like how Xhaka's been playing this year, Frank. He has a good season. But you need a more mobile 8 with more skill. We don't have anybody. Here's the thing, too, Apollo. People don't realize. I watched a kid from Southampton last year they bought from Man City. And he's able to go by a player. Like how you see Emirates did a couple times today.
Yeah.
Go by you, then you behind him, then the defense is scrambling, right? Because then they're under pressure. We don't have anybody like that.
All right, Bertram, I got one game for you.
All right.
I got one game for you. Arsenal versus Sporting Lisbon. That's the midfield that we need.
Arsenal versus Sporting Lisbon.
Yep.
We had who we had in the midfield. We had the same midfield we had today.
No, not we. Them.
Oh, their midfield. Oh, they dominated. Oh, yeah, they were. They were going by us like we were standing still. They were just running by us like we're standing. Yes, you're right. Yeah. Remember in that game, they were going by us, actually. Yeah.
You have a double pivot like that, and man, you're causing all kinds of problems, man. You can just build. That's a core that you can build a team around if you got something like that, man.
Because we only beat midfields with the pass. We don't beat them with individual ability. We don't go by people. We beat them mainly with the pass, which is important, and the ball travels faster than the individual. But sometimes you need a little bit of skill to create situations. We don't have a lot of that. Even though wingers don't really roast people. I don't think we realize this, Our wingers don't roast people. You watch Mitoma from Brighton or Rashford, or they roast people, or even say Maximum something. We don't roast people. We jockey with it and then play it inside, or maybe it's how they're trained to play. I don't know, but we don't roast people.
I mean, the good news is Thomas Partey is going to turn 30 next month, and Jorginho 31, 32 actually.
Right.
So we're in the market for these 24-year-old midfield players because of exactly what Bertram just said. He's looking for those Caicedo. I wouldn't call Declan Rice by dynamic, but then when you look at the stats, he's led the Premier League 2 years straight in passes intercepted. And he's a beast. He feels like the stat sheet in the middle of the park. And no matter what anybody wants to say about him, he's just an elite footballer. My question is how does that translate to the upper echelon level of the Champions League? Because I'll tell you what, I used to think Calvin Phillips was actually a better midfielder than Declan Rice. He went to Man City. He ain't even played for them.
But Man City is a different kettle of fish, isn't it? I mean,
it is, but then you're talking about a guy who dominated at the Euros with Declan Rice, and they're not even playing him. So how is Declan Rice going to fit into Arsenal? That's the key right there. So I don't know, man. I mean, is the plan to have Thomas Partey with Declan Rice or Jorginho? I mean, what's the plan? I can't wait to see how this all works.
I think we should get Caicedo. I'm a Caicedo fan, actually. At 21, the kid is. That's why I'm playing right back for Brighton the last time they played. He was playing that right back.
Yeah.
I think the kid has a lot of ability. He will only get better. He's only, 21?
Yeah.
But Rice or Caicedo, they're good players. Rice is going to be expensive, though. But they're both going to be expensive.
Yeah.
Because Caicedo's on a new 5-year contract. They're not selling for less than 80, 90 million pounds.
Exactly. And after last season now, you can't even walk in the door unless you got 70 million to start negotiations. So,
they're not negotiating at 70. That's why they signed to that contract.
Yeah, that's right.
They
bought themselves another 20, 25 million with he'll go for 100 million. Everyone's going to be in for him as well.
Because if you're Brighton, Apollo, think about this. If you're Brighton, you only need about 3 or 4 players yourself,
Yeah.
With Matomo and McAllister and all you have, you only need why would you go sell any player, frankly?
Yeah, that's right.
You need 3 or 4 players. You'd get another year out of them, and if it doesn't work, you then stop.
Imagine if they had a 20-goal a season striker in that team.
They have Danny Welbeck. Says it all.
That's not
all
nice.
right, guys, listen. We got to run. I'm going to go off to watch the Miami Grand Prix now. It's 8 o'clock. I hope you guys are doing well. Fantastic result today. That is going to go down as one of the top results away from home this season to go along with Spurs. the 4-2 at Villa and the 4-2 at Brighton. In fact, that's probably going to be our best result of the season, because you can't even regard Spurs as anything right now. This team is sitting in third place. They're the number one defense in the league, and you've gone there and you've absolutely taken a sword to them. And credit to the team. Somebody mentioned the thing. I just went to the forum and saw somebody comment about bottlers, saying bottle jobs tend to crumble on occasions like this. Only Liverpool have beaten them here in the last year. One team, guys.
So I'll say this, guys. We got luck. I'm just watching the highlights again. We got lucky today. I forgot they hit the upright twice.
Yeah, but you make your luck. Don't forget, we hit the upright.
Yeah, we hit it as well, Bertram.
No, I'm not saying we have, but we won 2-0. They didn't score a goal.
Yeah.
They didn't score. They hit the upright twice. The one that Ramsdale saved, the one that Willock missed, the Jakub block. They had chances. They had more chances than I thought they did, actually.
But you got to remember, Bertram, we created more chances than they did.
Yeah, we had Odegaard miss, we had Saka miss, we had Martinelli miss. But I'm just saying, I didn't realize they created so much chances, actually.
Yeah, no, I knew it was a close game.
Yeah.
And that's why I said at 1-0, this is a very close game. It could go 1-0 or it can go 2-0. And I was hoping it would go 2-0, and I got my wish. But there was very much a chance that this could have gone 1-0.
Right, Tony, closing comments?
Yeah, that's made my week. I'm very happy now. We get a little break until next week. So yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy this bank holiday. The end of today, I believe it's gonna rain tomorrow. So not sure what the plan is. I'm enjoying the NBA basketball at the moment. We're in the playoffs. Obviously looking to see what's going on in the NFL with the draft just being done. But yeah, let's go again, Arsenal, next week.
Yeah. So do you guys have bank holidays every week? Didn't you have one last week?
Yeah. We got one. We got 3 this month. We got one at the end of the month.
Oh, so they all clocked together then, because that was a spread out.
Well, the second one is because of the coronation, which I avoided like the plague yesterday. So
you gotta celebrate your new king. What are you talking about? You should be singing God, kiss
not my
God.
king.
Hey! Swear your allegiance.
Off with his head.
You have your king. You have to celebrate your king. What are you doing?
Which king?
Swear your allegiance.
And your Queen Camilla. I mean, you have to celebrate your queen and king.
Passed away 10 years ago.
We gotta celebrate Jimmy Savile's best mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man. Ebony, closing comments for you?
Looking forward to next week against Brighton. I think we'll win. I think Man City will drop points, and I think we'll take it. So yeah, that's my bit of optimism.
Bertram, what about you?
So I think the Brighton game will be tougher because when we played them last, there was no McAllister, no Caicedo. I think we forget that. And we're up 4-0. They came back and scored 2. So they have a much better midfield this game. But hopefully we'll be able to beat them, even though we don't play that well at home, frankly. If you look at our road record versus home record, you'd be shocked at the differential. We're not that great keeping out goals at home. It's been really surprising. If we get too comfortable, giving the home cooking and sleeping in your own bed versus being on the road where it's rougher. But it's been an interesting weekend. My Knicks look really awful. I look like Miami's going to roast us. And the game was being refereed like the game today. We played Miami last night. It was awful refereeing, beyond awful refereeing.
Yeah,
but we were poor, and I don't know how we beat them because we don't even look close to them. But anyway, it's a good win for us. It's been an interesting season. I am pleased. I've said this over and over again. I'm pleased with the season. I am not disappointed not winning the title. I thought it was a little bit too early for us, frankly. If we won, I would have been happy. But if we didn't win, I wasn't here mourning because we're back in the Champions League. As Wenger said, that's our title, at least for now anyway, until we can compete with City. We need to buy about 5-6 players, frankly. It's not 2 or 3. You need about 5 or 6 players. You're going to play in the Champions League where it's tough every week. You can't afford to have lax situation about giving somebody game time just to give them game time.
And look at the way Man City can rotate their players so they don't end up burnt out like Saka is.
Yeah.
Like, look at Man City yesterday. They didn't play Diaz. They didn't play a bunch of their players yesterday. They played De Bruyne and played Haaland, but they didn't play a number of players yesterday. I don't think Grealish played, did he? They played Foden. They played Foden, so yeah.
I went through on Friday night the amount of injuries that each team has suffered this season, and Liverpool were number one, by far cleared the most.
Yeah, they had a horrible season.
They're going to be back
Injury-wise.
strong next season. Just wait and see what happens there, guys. But listen, huge 3 points for Arsenal. The title race is still open, guys. And the clue for that is Man City have to go away to play Brighton and Brentford in the last 2 games. 2 teams that are really, really good, solid, well-rounded. And it's going to be tough for City, man. But it's there right now. That's the path. That's the formula for the Gunners to win it. I still think that the title's gone, but that's our path to our title race, guys. One of the best performances this season, in my opinion. So many highs and lows, but the deserved 3 points. The only team that has won here in the last 12 months is Liverpool. That's how good Newcastle are at home. So
And it was a lucky win, by the way, guys. As Cavallo scored in the last minute of the game after that corner and the ball boom over. So it was a lucky win against Newcastle that game. Yeah.
So, guys, listen, enjoy the rest of your weekend, man. Hope you don't end up as sick as I am right now. But peace and peace right back at you guys. Have a great weekend.
Peace.
Nice one.